you doing? I have missed you all. Good folks of the algorithm. I hope you're having a great Monday. And I just want to say shout out to my very beautiful and loyal ladies, sisters from many different places that have come to support. I know I've been away for a while, so I want to shout out Miss Joanne. Thank you so much, sis. How are you, my Canadian sister? Thank you for being here. Miss Sweetheart, how are you, dear? It's so good to see you again. I hope everything's well with you and your family. Thank you for being here. I know Miss Jalen is popping around somewhere, so shout out to her and all the others. I'll say hello to you when you come in. I want to say, I'm sorry I've been away for a while. It's been almost a month. Wasn't necessarily my intentions. The ones who have been on my community posts know that I had a family emergency that have happened that have taken over. So I was really focusing on that. I'm still dealing with that situation. However, things have come to a more calm place where I was able to come back to you good folks of the algorithm. I do hope that all of you are well. I hope that your family members is well. And it's just so good to see all of you. Hey, there you are, Miss Joanne. Miss Joanne. Oh, Boricua Jalen, my bad sister, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Rebel, oh my God, welcome back, Bama boy. It's good to see you, sir. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for your love and support, Bama boy. I truly, truly appreciate you, sir. Truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, Alexandra. How are you? Thank you so much for your compliment. Thank you. I hope you had a good Monday today. Thank you so much. Andy, that's not a nice question to answer, but shout out to you, Andy. Shout out to you. All right. So, guys, I'm so glad to have you back. I appreciate you all being here. Please hit the like button for me if you can. I truly appreciate it. Or you can hit the down button for me. Either way, it definitely helps the channel. Share this out to anyone who likes this type of commentary. We're going to get into the immersive conversations again about these true crime cases. So the first one that I have for you good folks is about a killer trick. I would say a cops trick a killer into thinking that he's a victim that needed to survive. So I wanted to see this. The title was very interesting to me. I wanted to see how did they trick him to, I guess, expose himself, because that's what it seemed like is going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. And hi, Michael Weathers, how are you? Happy Monday to you. Hope everything is great. Oh yes, no problem, Boricua. I'm definitely gonna give him a wrench. And I'm doing well, Michael. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and pull up my screen and then we can get to it, okay, guys? I hope you can see this, and here we go.
The footage you are watching was recorded just moments after 17-year-old Benjamin Elliott brutally stabbed his twin sister while sleepwalking.
Where's your son? Okay, we got it. EMS is coming.
The officers follow Ben's dad and discover Ben desperately trying to save his sister's life. After doing chest compressions for about 10 minutes, EMS finally arrives and takes over.
Okay, sir, can we take over? Can you step out? Thank you.
His parents, Michael and Kathy, were sleeping in another room when the stabbing took place, so they had no idea what was going on.
What happened, son? It was a dream. He said it was a dream, honey. What the?
Ben also made this claim about dreaming moments earlier when he called 911.
Harris County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I just killed my sister. I thought it was a dream.
What's your name?
I just killed my sister.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I stabbed her. In the neck. I thought it was a dream. Please, I don't want to die. I'm sorry.
How old is she?
17. We're twins.
Is she awake?
Yes. She's like barely alive.
After noticing that Ben was whispering into the phone, the dispatcher wondered if there was anybody else inside the house.
Is there anyone else there in the house with you?
There is. It's my parents, but they're asleep.
Okay, I need you to go wake them up. Mom!
Dad! What's going on? I can't think I'm so sorry. You what?
Ben's half-asleep father then rushed into the room and found Megan lying on her bed, covered in blood.
Oh my God!
I could see Megan's face. She was.
All right, I'm going to stop it for there because that 911 call was very interesting. And shout out to Sam Sapp. He sent 30 jewels or sent for flour. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So what's really, really like interesting for me is this is your twin sister. You're saying that you were asleep, it was a dream or a horrible nightmare, and you stabbed your sister. Now I need to know, how many times did you stab your sister? When did you actually wake out of the dream? Right? And then you're whispering because you now kind of know that you did something wrong and you didn't want to even wake up your parents. The operator had to tell you to go wake up your parents to let them know what's going on. I'm not sure. I'm not really buying it. The only way I think that you was having a dream, or if you was hallucinating, if you was on some form of influence, right? Some form of drugs or something like that. This is your twin sister. You know, like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. But hopefully we'll get a little bit more detail on the situation. Let's see. Rebel said there was more mythical things going on. Yeah, I definitely believe that, Bama. Absolutely. I definitely believe that. Chance said, oh, thank you very much for your compliment. Have a good Monday, Chance. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sam Sapp, appreciate you again, sir. He said, right, that's wow, fishy. It does. It really does sound fishy because I really have to know, was you really dreaming? Then I will want to know, are you a person who's been diagnosed for, night walking or having tremors in your sleep? I would want to know, do you have a history behind that? To just randomly just have a dream and you went to go get a knife and then you thought that you was fighting off someone and you stabbed your sister. I don't know. I'm really not buying it, right? And maybe even if that was a possibility one time, I can get. But if you stabbed her multiple times, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what his father has to say while he's in court.
Gray and just I thought that she was gone.
We're going to have to start CPR right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
As you already saw, EMS took over CPR when they arrived at the house. Officers then placed Ben in handcuffs and escorted him outside.
He said it was a dream, honey. What the? I don't know. I don't know.
Joanne, right.
It was just a dream, and then it wasn't.
I'm gonna do a search of you real quick, and then I'm gonna put you in the back seat out of this rain, okay?
Right.
While Ben waited in the back of a police cruiser, the police were still inside the house trying to console his parents.
What the? Never been anything wrong with him at all.
Although they desperately wanted to understand why this happened, their biggest concern right now was the state of their daughter, Megan.
I just need to see her.
See her.
We can't. No, we can't
see her.
Take a picture for me. Let me see something.
Yeah, can we see something?
No, sir.
After being denied any more access to their dying daughter, Michael and Kathy were then forced to exit the house. Shortly after, Megan was pronounced dead. While the forensics unit took over the Elliott household, Ben was taken down to the sheriff's office. His bloody arms and hands were photographed, and his clothes were collected as evidence. He was then taken to an interrogation room for an interview. While he waited for the detective, his demeanor was strangely calm and collected for someone who had just stabbed their sister. However, it is possible that Ben was just in shock after going through such a traumatic event. Detective Freder Munoz eventually arrived, and Ben immediately asked how Megan was doing.
Is she okay?
Yeah, last time I know about, she was being checked out by the EMS.
She is okay.
At this point, the detective was well aware that Megan was dead, but he's intentionally withholding this information to keep Ben talking.
So what happened, Benjamin?
You ever have like a really realistic nightmare where like just everything feels real, but also off at the same time?
Although Ben has never done anything this violent in the past, this wasn't his first sleepwalking episode. In one incident, Ben unconsciously wandered into the bedroom where both of his sisters were sleeping. He then stood in the doorway in a sinister way.
Ben was standing in the doorway, not moving, just kind of staring at us. His eyes were like barely open. And then we told him to go back to bed. And he just turned around I went to bed. We told our parents the next morning, and they had no memory at all.
Another time at a childhood sleepover, his friend found him eating a donut in the middle of the night, completely unconscious.
You would have to have gone, walk over to the stovetop, open the box, grab the donut, and then walk back to the couch where he was sleeping earlier. Just the sheer confusion on his face, like he genuinely seemed baffled as to how that happened.
Ben tried to describe how he felt during these recurring episodes and explained that he was unaware of what he was doing until waking up. But the detective wasn't buying it. He asked Ben to provide a more detailed play-by-play of the night. Apparently, before Ben went to bed, he and his dad were playing a video game, which happened to be called Survive the Nights. His dad noticed that one of the knives in the game looked similar to a knife.
Okay. Hold on. So they're saying that this is not the first time Ben have blacked out before. There's one time he completely blacked out, didn't remember where he was, what location, what time it was. But you notice when we was looking at the cop cam in the house, the father's running around saying he's never been like this. He never done anything like this before. But you do know that he has times where he's not always there, or you have to like snap him back like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, I don't know, I was just in my mind and my thoughts. Then now literally you're watching some nightmare show or game or something, and literally I guess the weapon that he used on his sister is quite similar to what was being displayed in that video. I don't know. Like, do that look like a knife that you usually find in your kitchen or something? So according to the detective, he had to go to the lockbox where this particular type of knife is, open it up, close it, put it back where it was, and go right back to where he was. And you telling me nobody's heard anything? Nobody's the sister didn't think that was weird before she became the victim? The parents is upstairs. They don't hear nothing. None of this going on. Like, I don't know. Is something missing and it's not all the way there yet? I hope we get a little bit more information about it. But I don't like how it's being summed up that this guy has such a nightmare after the last video he was watching with his father, which was gruesome, vicious, going around stabbing, murdering people and stuff like that. And he just so happened to have a nightmare and he went and did that to his sister. I don't know. It's really rubbing me the wrong way. Miss Joanne said he was pissed about something. I agree. JL Edia says, are you really serious? According to them. Hi, Meow. How are you, Meowster? Happy Monday. Hope everything's well with you. Yeah, and what was Megan doing to him? Right, exactly. Like, there's so much information that's being left out. So I'm hoping. Yes, everybody's guilty. Everybody's guilty, God damn it. Somebody knows something. Somebody's knowing more than what's going on. Let's see. In her dream. Yeah, in his dream, right. Hi, what is that? Lou the lunatic? Lou the lunatic? How are you? Happy Monday to you, sir. Happy Monday to you. That could be a possibility. Meow said it doesn't make sense though. How did he go from getting up and eating a donut from grabbing a knife and full on killing someone? Right. It doesn't really even make any sense, because if you was a donut, you went to go get a donut, that means you was hungry. So you mean in the midst of you night walking to go, fix your craving, you just had another little miniature nightmare in it that says somebody's trying to attack you to go get a knife? Like, it's something's fishy. Something's really going on. Brucey, it's so good to see you. Good sir, how are you? I hope everything's well. Shout out to you, Brucey. I have missed you, sir. I hope everything is well. Hope everything is well with you. Hey, how are you? Here from the coffee. Shout out to Arizona. Oh, that's Arizona, right? Paradise Valley. Happy Monday to you. All right, let's go on.
Knife that he owned in real life, so he told Ben that he could have it.
Let me ask you, the knife that you had in your hands, where'd you get it from?
From my dad. He had given it to me that day. I was really enamored with it.
Once everybody went to bed, Ben stayed up late on his phone researching more outdoor survival gear and scrolling through Reddit.
Where would that phone be at right now?
Somewhere at the crime scene.
Ben is claiming that this was all an accident, that he didn't commit a crime, yet he just referred to his house as a crime scene. The detective noted this potential slip-up and listened carefully for others in Ben's timeline of events. The next thing Ben said was that after browsing the web for a while, he fell asleep at around 3:30 a.m.
So you go to sleep. What's the next thing you remember?
The next thing I remember is like the feeling of stabbing something.
As soon as Ben stabbed Megan, he became aware that he was sleepwalking and realized what he had done.
I was in her room and I turned on the light and I was panicking. And I tried to stop breathing with the pillow that was behind her. I did that.
After about 10 seconds, he realized his efforts weren't working, so he called 911 for help.
So I run in my room and I unplug my phone and I dial 911.
How many times did you stab her?
Just once.
Actually, Ben stabbed Megan not once, but twice. Sleepwalkers almost always have a clouded memory following an episode, so maybe Ben was asleep when he stabbed his sister. But the detective refused to believe this bizarre explanation. He wondered if the twins had any...
Yeah, I'm not really buying it either. So you stabbed her twice. Your father gave you the knife. You was dreaming about eating donuts, and then all of a sudden you just felt like you wanted to stab something. Where did your sister come into play? Did you have an argument with your sister? Was there anything that y'all was arguing about prior to you taking a nap and this nightmare happened? And then I find it funny how, the parents in the cop cam, they were very adamant about wanting to see the daughter in her dire state, because it seems that they remembered, or maybe even the father remembered, that they hand him a knife prior to them going upstairs to go to sleep, and they wanted to see, was she hurt by that particular knife? That's what it's kind of reading to me. Like, let me see what happened to her. Why? Are you an EMS? Are you going to help her? Are you going to help her? No, but I want to just see how she looks. Okay. They didn't want to show you what was going on with their daughter because they weren't sure whether or not if you was a part of it, and you wanted to see what evidence or what was left and try to cover up or make your excuse. So that's why they left you on the side. You know what I'm saying? And they already had someone who considered themselves the suspect because the son called and said that he stabbed his sister. So I don't know. Sweetheart said, I don't believe anything he says. I don't either. And I'm really checking for his mannerism right now. His mannerism is very mundane. And y'all know I tell you this on this channel about psychopaths, right? Psychopaths, the way how they address anything is the same. It doesn't change. A funeral, they sound the same. A wedding, they sound the same. And that's how he's talking about this whole situation. He's very mundane. He doesn't seem like he's distressed at all that his sister is pretty much fighting for her life. But we all know that she passed from her wounds. But right now, the detectives have continued the fabrication, right, of her still being alive and she's just going to go get help at the hospital. And they did that because if they would have told him, if they would have told him, hey, your sister passed from her injuries, he would not have been forthcoming with them about what actually happened and what led to his sister becoming a victim, right? He would have been like, oh, I need to self-preservate. So now I need to, find a way to get myself out of it. But by them believing, or him believing, that his sister is still alive, he doesn't have to worry about dealing with a murder case. He might have to just deal about, maybe something less than that, right? So they do things like that. They don't want to give all the information away. Eventually they will tell him, she's gone, right? But as of right now, they need him to be as honest as possible. Clearly, he's still going on with I had a dream, a very bad dream. And I don't know, I just wanted to stab something, and I was just stabbing something, and then I woke up out of my dream and I found out it was my sister. That's what he's going with right now. We'll see if that's going to continue to play out, unless they find any other evidence in the house that tells them otherwise than what he's saying.
Underlying issues that could have motivated Ben to do this.
So how's your relationship with Megan?
Good. She's my twin sister. I'd do anything for her. We're pretty close for siblings.
No rivalry there?
No.
You guys have any recent fights or anything like that?
No.
If he didn't have issues with Megan, maybe he had a mental illness that caused a violent outburst.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illnesses?
No.
According to Ben, everything was hunky-dory. He did say that he was struggling with schooling.
I've had some issues with school stuff sometimes.
But his problems at school were pretty minor, and he was clearly optimistic about his academic future.
I'm thinking about mechanical engineering. I'm taking the SAT, I think, Friday? No, Saturday.
About 2 hours into the interview, the detective finally broke the tragic news about Megan, paying close attention to Ben's reaction.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Megan did not make it.
The chilling lack of emotion from Ben after being told his twin sister was dead immediately raised red flags for the detective. Although Ben continued to insist that he was asleep and that the stabbing was an accident, his admission to the killing was enough for the police to charge him with Megan's murder.
Hello, I'm Lynn Cannon.
And good evening to you. I'm Mia Gradney.
A 17-year-old girl is dead after police say she was stabbed in her own bed.
The person now facing charges, her twin brother.
Detectives trying to decipher what happened inside this Katy home early this.
Only reason why I'm stopping, what they just said, I didn't know. So she was stabbed in her own bed. So you mean to tell me, wherever you were sleeping at, you got up, you went to the kitchen, you were eating a donut, you went and found wherever that knife was that your father gave you that was actually locked up, it wasn't in the kitchen. So you went in there, opened the box, got that particular knife, walked into your sister's room to stab her in the bed. And you really expect me to believe that all took place in some sleepwalking nightmare type of situation? That's just very strategic. So you're telling me you didn't bump into a wall once? You didn't knock into something? If you don't even know anything that's going on, you didn't even know that you was eating a donut, right? Like, how do you make it to your sister's bedroom and stand over her and stab her? If you're literally in a sleep state and you said that you wanted to stab something, you could have just stabbed anything. You could have, destroyed a table, a wooden table, stabbed the counter, even put a stab in the refrigerator. You was already in the kitchen. But no, you literally walked out the kitchen, went to her room, see her laying in the bed, and stab her. And you really want me to believe that was all a dream? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Yo, he is not sad. No, he's not. He didn't even cry. Nope, he didn't. Why is he calm? He's calm because he don't have no emotions. Ain't no way. It's crazy. But let's go on.
This morning, Harris County Sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call shortly before 5 a.m. Inside, they say they found 17-year-old Megan Elliott stabbed multiple times in her bed, a knife on the ground. Her twin brother, Benjamin, was on top of her, performing CPR. But investigators say he is their suspect.
Because siblings are normally very close, and you really have that kind of bond between. But again, people have, things happen.
They seem to get along, one neighbor told us in Spanish. Just recently, he saw the twin brother pull out an umbrella to help his twin sister stay dry in the rain. How things went from that to a deadly stabbing has the community wondering what went wrong.
Hi,
Ben pled not guilty and was released on bond after his family posted his $100,000 bail. Meanwhile, the forensics team was processing the evidence from Megan's room. Strangely, there was very little blood spatter where the killing took place, which was unexpected considering the severity of Megan's stab wounds. Other than the bed, the only thing that had a substantial amount of blood on it was the pillow that Ben had supposedly used to manage the bleeding. The investigators believed that the only logical explanation was that Ben was covering Megan's head with the pillow at the time of the attack, blocking the blood from getting everywhere. Ben insisted that this was all the result of a bad sleepwalking episode, but even his own attorneys struggled to believe this claim. They wondered if Ben actually had schizophrenia.
Yeah, so right there, that's a done deal. That's a done deal. Ain't no way you were sleepwalking when now it's been confirmed that you were suffocating her. After you stabbed her twice in the neck, you were suffocating her to keep the blood not spilling out everywhere in the bed and everything. There's no way. There's no way. You're not doing all that in a sleepwalking. You're not. No. 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 I think that he's either a schizophrenic, split personality, or he's just a psychopath. And he probably had he was probably has some type of loathing or hatred towards his twin sister. It has to be something like that to him spark him to brutally, unalive his sister in that way. And then now he's trying to protect himself with this. It was all a dream. No, it wasn't, sir. It was not a dream. It was not a dream what you did. You meant to do what you did. You meant to do what you did. That's why you was whispering when you called 911. You didn't run. The funny thing is you didn't run and try to tell your parents what you did. You try to keep it from them until the operator told you. And then on top of that, you didn't even try to render aid to your sister. If this was all an accident and you didn't mean to do it because you was having a horrible dream, why wouldn't you save your sister? Why would you leave your sister to be bleeding out in the bed and then you decide to quietly call 911? And then when the 911 said, well, you know what, you need to get your parents up, and you're like, they're in the bedroom sleeping. Well, you need to call the parents and like, Mom, Dad, I did this. I'm sorry. Nah. Mm-mm. It's crazy how some people say stuff for us to believe and anyone can tell it's not true. You know what? It's funny thing because some people really do try to some people really have gotten away with things that are unrealistic. And people want to know, they want to think the best of you, right? They want to give you the benefit of the doubt. And for him, he has never done anything like this before. But I would literally go into his background and say, well, how was he with pets when he was younger? Was he abusive to pets? Was he trying to strangle puppies and strangle cats? Was he the type that was trying to stick a dynamite to a cat's tail? Because those are tattletale signs that maybe you might need to take your child to go seek some form of therapy, or maybe they might have some anger management. I would want to know that too, that his parents look into him having an anger management issue, because he did say that he was having problems in school. So that could have been bullying, antisocial issues, things of that sort. But truly, at the end of the day, he meant to do what he did to his sister. I want to know whether or not if really going to play out that they're going to accept his schizophrenic plea. Because I know that he's going to plead insanity. I know it. I know he is. Let's see. Not as big. Yes, I was referencing that. Yes, I was. Yeah, he's totally full of it. Absolutely full of it. Sleepwalking is completely different from schizophrenia. Absolutely. I had when I went to basic training, I had a female member who used to sleepwalk, used to scare the shit out of us, okay? Because she would get up at 1:00 in the morning and she would be walking to the latrine, but every single time she'll walk to the latrine, she would run smack into the fucking lockers and go head first and bump back, and we would be scared because we was like, yo, if the TIs find her on the floor unconscious, it's gonna be our ass. Please get up. Woman, like, it was to the point we were about to strap her ass down in the middle of the night so she could stop getting up to sleep. I love that girl. Shout out to my girl. I'm still friends with her today, but she used to just scare us to death because she would go head button first into the lockers. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to get brain damage. Oh my God. KM said, did you hear about Ezra Prince? No, I haven't. What happened? Meowster said that's probably why she couldn't scream, because he was suffocating her with a pillow, or he stabbed and damaged her vocal cords. Well, exactly where he stabbed her at, yes, you could tell he stabbed her here and here. So yes, it probably tapped her vocal cords, but he was suffocating her because he didn't want her to scream, and it was going to control where the blood went. Girl Dad, how are you? It's good to see you, sir. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. I know it's been a while, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Hope the family is well. Mr. Biscuit says there has been cases where either the sleepwalker has died or have killed while asleep. I once worked with a guy who attacked his girlfriend, then ran out his window 6 floors. Oh my God. I mean, I'm sure that there's cases. I'm not going to put it past it that have not happened to people before, but it's usually rare. It's usually rare. I don't see that all the time. I don't see that all the time at all. MJ, I was just thinking the same thing, Lo. He was harming. Yeah, like I would look for things like that, Oh, Dutchwood London? I have to look that up. Thank you, Mr. Biscuit. I have to look that up. All right, so let's go on. Let's hear what they have to say.
Just like his grandfather. However, after a series of psychological tests, it was clear that Ben wasn't suffering from any psychological issues. So they brought him to a neurologist named Dr. Gerald Simmons, who specializes in sleep disorders.
Happy Monday.
After several tests, his conclusion was that Ben was likely experiencing a parasomnia episode, specifically sleepwalking, when he killed Megan. Ben's defense team hoped that Dr. Simmons' findings would be enough to have the charges dropped. However, the prosecution made it clear that they were not backing down, and in April of 2023, a grand jury indicted Ben for the first-degree murder of his sister. The prosecutors offered Ben a plea deal. If he pled guilty to first-degree murder, they would limit his sentence to 30 years in prison. Ben turned down this offer, and on February 18, 2025, 3.5 years after Megan's death, his trial began.
All right.
In the prosecution's opening statement, they told the jury that the sleepwalking defense is complete nonsense because Ben's statements contradicted the core principles of sleepwalking.
Number one, you have no short-term memory if you're sleepwalking. The prefrontal cortex of your brain is turned off. You don't have memories from the moments leading up to sleepwalking. You don't have a memory of the episode itself.
The next thing I remember is like the feeling of stabbing something.
Number two, you're not dreaming. You can't, because the prefrontal cortex in your brain is switched off.
You ever have like a really realistic nightmare?
And your final principle, confusion upon arousal, disorientation, not knowing where you are sometimes.
I was in her room, and I turned on the light. I was panicking, and I tried to stop bleeding with the pillow that was behind her.
On top of all of these inconsistencies, they also pointed out that the state of Megan's body suggested she was dead long before Ben called 911.
She's pale. She's cold. Her lips are turning blue. The only person that knows when the offense occurred is the defendant.
They wrapped up their opening presentation by ridiculing Ben's behavior throughout his interactions with the police, saying,
So I wanted to stop right there. I absolutely love and adore what this prosecutor is doing, right? He put out very good, strong points, as in, I don't buy it that he was having a sleepwalking or paranormal sleepwalking situation that led to him being a killer. I don't really think that he had that then. Even though they went and tested him and said that he does sometimes get sleep or sleepwalks. That doesn't mean that happened there. There was too many things that he contradicted himself. You knew that you was in her room. You had memory of what you done. You had a feeling that you knew that you wanted to stab something. And like I was just telling you about the story about one of my wingmen, when she was sleepwalking, she woke up in the morning when we had to go down and do PT and shit. She did not remember nothing. We would tell her, girl, you ran into the to the locker head first and you fell and you flipped backwards and all this stuff. And she said, I don't remember a damn thing. She was like, I don't remember nothing. She didn't remember her getting up. She didn't remember her hitting her head. She didn't remember her walking back to her bed and jumping in it like she didn't just do that a few minutes ago. She did not remember nothing. She said that the whole entire time she thought that she was asleep in her bed. So when we told her that this is what you were doing, she had no memory of it. How do you have memory of it? You had memory of that you wanted to stab something. So you're showing that you had aggression in your sleep, right? Then you said that you was in her room. So you're showing that you were visually aware where you was moving in the house. You can't do none of that if you're sleepwalking, if you're actually sleepwalking. So I thought that was great points from the prosecutor, a very strong claim. And I think it's really something that should stick. But we'll see what the defense attorney has up their sleeves to help their client. But right now, it doesn't really look too good for him because those are really concrete things. And anyone who's in psychology or sociology or who studies the human mind will confirm exactly what the prosecutor has said. So let's go on.
That this alone was extremely incriminating.
He calls 911 at 4:41. Hello? Hello?
Yep.
I stabbed her with a knife. He's whispering. And you'll see his demeanor in the interview. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Megan has succumbed to her injuries. And the defendant says,
As for the defense, they knew how ridiculous their sleepwalking defense was going to sound to the jury. So they showed the jury that their claims are supported by actual science.
Let's get kind of the elephant in the room out of the way. Is this just some made up baloney
Go ahead
as a really creative defense?
All right, and be careful.
The answer is absolutely not. During certain parasomnias, in extreme cases, victims have been stabbed with knives or hit with blunt objects. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben was not intentionally and knowingly committing acts against his sister.
They also suggested that Ben wasn't trying to whisper during the 911 call. In reality, he was in shock and doing everything in his power to save his sister's life.
He's saying things like, oh my God, I thought it was a dream. No, she's breathing. Please, 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 I don't want her to die.
The prosecution called an assortment of law enforcement and
Okay, I'm sorry, defense attorney. I don't buy it. He was not doing everything to save her life. He was not on 911 telling them that he's trying to hold down her neck to put pressure on her neck so he could stop her bleeding out and anything. In fact, he left her, right? And then to confirm now with the autopsy that she was suffocating at the point when she was bleeding out, you were suffocating her with a pillow. That is not helping your sister to survive this. I don't know, like, come on now. You can't use that. That's not good enough, defense attorney. That's not. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's not hitting the way that it's supposed to hit. I'm just saying, it's just not hitting the way it's supposed to hit. Hi, Lark. How are you doing? He said, why is they always wear glasses to get sympathy in court? I don't know. The glasses thing, make you seem intelligent, make you seem like you might have more of morale. I don't know. Maybe. It's a thing about glasses. Yeah. Yeah. You see, from a mind that does not think their crime through, they react without any thought of what to do after they've done the deed. Sounds like sleepwalking could be something the juries buy. They're trying. I agree, but I agree. I definitely agree. He said F was a BS. The hell he was. Right, exactly. No way. Yeah. Not the demons, Lord, not the demons. All right, let's go on. Yeah, but they're not hitting the way they need to hit.
experts to the stand and took the jury through all of the body cam footage, crime scene photos, and blood spatter evidence. They slowly introduced their theory that Megan had a pillow over her head at the time of the murder, suggesting that Ben had meticulously thought out a plan to muffle his sister's screams as he killed her. The only state witness that wasn't an expert or law enforcement was Ben's father, Michael. Right off the bat, the prosecution did something that shocked the courtroom.
This is a photo taken from an autopsy.
Oh, no problem. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, that's Megan.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The state's decision to force Michael to identify his daughter's dead body was reprimanded by many who watched this trial. It's unclear why they couldn't have shown Michael a photo of Megan when she was alive, but some believe that the state simply wanted to torment Michael for supporting his killer son. They rested their case, and it was now the defense's turn. They focused on the state's biggest weakness, their lack of motive. They called several character witnesses to the stand to show that Ben was a consistently good kid, and that his relationship with his sister was loving.
Ever notice that
No.
the sweet kid or the tender kid changed into somebody else?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever know Ben to have any violent tendencies towards Megan?
No. The biggest drama they had was like Ben being a know-it-all when they play video games. And I feel like that's pretty regular. Like, it's just a good run.
They also had multiple people testify to Ben's previous sleepwalking experiences to show that this wasn't something Ben just made up to get away with murder.
Ben was standing in the doorway, not moving, just kind of staring at us.
He was lying on the couch, his head on the armrest, facing my way, and he was eating donut.
In fact, members of Ben's family testified about their own parasomnia experiences as well, including his great-aunt Martha.
All I know is I came to in the bushes clutching my dog.
Apparently, sleepwalking was a common parasomnia within the Elliott family. According to Dr. Simmons, this increased the odds of Ben having the same sleep disorder. Dr. Simmons gave an in-depth analysis about the sleep studies he conducted with Ben and explained why he believed Ben was telling the truth. There were two important observations about Ben's sleep patterns. The first important observation is that Ben had obstructed sleep apnea, which can trigger a sleepwalking episode. However, sleepwalking can only occur in stage N3 of your sleep cycle, which brings us to observation number 2. During Ben's sleep cycle, he entered stage N3 in about 11 minutes, much faster than the average person. This is important because although Ben thought he fell asleep around 3:30 a.m., his phone activity actually stopped at 4:17 a.m., 24 minutes before he called 911. This meant that Ben only had 24 minutes to fall asleep, enter stage N3, and kill his sister. For an average person, this wasn't nearly enough time, but since Ben entered N3 sleep unusually fast, this theory was totally plausible.
And what is your opinion about the events that occurred on September 29th of 2021?
That it was a perfect storm of circumstances. This was an event.
See, my only problem with their narrative, if the whole family has the sleep apnea that turns into sleepwalking and all this, how come there's no real record or documentation of this at all? Then we didn't even hear from the parents saying that he have done this before, right? They didn't even say that to the cops or anything. They said that this is something that he didn't do. He would never do anything like this, right? So it's just like, again, out of the average, you're saying that he fell into deeper sleep faster than average folks would actually fall into deeper sleep. And you telling me that he knew that he had a window of 14 minutes to kill his sister before calling 911? I don't buy it. I really don't buy it at all. And then now to try to bring up the family history that everybody, the auntie, the grandma, everybody have this, but have everybody in the family killed their significant other? I haven't heard about grandma taking grandpa life, slitting grandpa throat in the middle of the night. So how come his becomes so violent? How come everybody else who might participate in it in the family, and this is something that's hereditary, how come they're not violent, but he's violent? But then he also never had a history of having this before. Now y'all coming up with records and stuff, and you're talking about, well, you know what, he had a history, he has this, so we can see that this happened. I don't buy it at all. And it's going to be up to the judge, and it's going to be up to the jury to whether or not they're going to believe this story that miraculously at the age of 17 or 18 years old, that I think him and his sister was, that now something that usually you can pinpoint later on and you have documentation about it, now it just came around this time and his age, and it just so happens that he's violent. He's just the violent one. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And like, I still think that what the prosecutor said was more concrete than what the defense attorney is leading with. I know that's the only shot that they have, right? Because we all know that he did unalive his sister. He was caught there with the weapon in the location, blood on his hands, everything. So there's no saying that somebody else did it. They have to go with the story that he's talking about. So they're doing everything in their powers to make this narrative about, yes, even though he doesn't fit the average time when people go into RMs and they go into sleepwalking method, just for him, it went super fast. And then it happened like that. I don't know. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it at all. And that's just me. That's just me. Yes, moment of silence for Megan. Absolutely, absolutely. Rest in peace, Megan. That's it's really sad, that happened to you. That should have never happened to you. I could just picture how scared, how much pain she was in, probably calling out to her parents, and they can't hear her because he's suffocating her with a pillow while he's stabbing her. And just to even know that it was your brother, because I'm sure she saw who was over her before her untimely death. Like, that's a lot. That really is a lot. Yeah, it's a load of crap, Turkey. It's a bunch of load of crap. Maybe he was bad because his donut was not the donut was stale. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't put it past it. Maybe she ate one of his donuts before he went to sleep, and he was like, "I got you, bitch. I told you to leave my fucking donuts alone. You don't listen." That could have happened. I don't know, the King Kamikaze, because you know what? They're twins. So maybe, favoritism. Maybe he was lacking in school. Maybe the sister was, the honor roll student, very well, socialized, a social butterfly. She had friends. He didn't have friends. He said that he was having a hard time in school. So I'm thinking that he had some antisocial issues, and he probably could have felt a kind of way that his sister's not dealing with that same type of experience. It could have been a plethora of things. Showing the jury the pic of the victim's state of her body is quite different than telling them. It's what he did to her, not what happened to her. He did that to her. Right, exactly, Vo. Exactly. Let's go on.
That was a parasomnia.
In the rebuttal phase of the trial, the prosecution had the opportunity to call their own sleep expert to the stand, Dr. Mark Pressman. He believed that whether or not the defense's sleepwalking theory was possible, it was irrefutably debunked by Ben's recollection of that night.
I concluded he was not in a sleepwalking state.
How did you come to that conclusion?
He had memory. He is said to have come out of the state much faster than any sleepwalker could ever do.
After 4 days of testimony, it was time for the closing arguments.
Benjamin Elliott walked into his sister's room with this very knife, and he stabbed her in the neck twice. There's no blood spraying in the room. You know why? The only thing soaked in blood is the pillow that he muffled her screams with.
How could a kid who cherishes his sister, who loves her, who protects her, how could someone commit a crime that heinous unless there was a reasonable explanation?
Mr. Rucker and I have disproven what they have tried to sell you. Their narrative of what happened.
The biggest thing that they're hanging their hat on is the lack of motive. While I didn't give you motive, I did show you premeditation. It's no coincidence that the knife he used to kill his sister was the very knife he got the day before. They have been protecting him from the get-go. I'm a mother. I understand wanting to protect your children. I get it. but you can't let them get away with it.
I agree, Bruce.
I want you to look in this courtroom. There are so many people here for Benjamin. There is not one person here for Megan.
I'm going to object to that.
Following this intense battle, Ben gave his mom a hug outside of the courtroom, knowing that it might be his last. After just 4 hours of deliberation, the jury had reached their verdict.
All right, for the jury.
We, the jury, find the defendant Benjamin David Elliott guilty of murder as charged in the indictment signed by the foreman of the jury.
Ben sat emotionless as his guilty verdict was read aloud by the judge. His parents were in disbelief as they watched from the benches. Ben's sentencing took place the next day, on February 25th, 2025. The prosecution pressed the judge to give Ben 40 years in prison, saying that he clearly had no remorse for his actions. On the contrary, the defense called Michael's dad to the stand once again, trying to convince the judge to hand down the minimum sentence of 5 years.
The argument was made that your son has shown no remorse. How would you answer that argument?
That is stunningly untrue. He has been frustrated, he's been angry, he's been incredibly sad, he's broken down literally on the floor screaming.
Now, the court has a decision on punishment to make in this case. Tell the judge, knowing your daughter, how you think she would want this to play out.
She would want lenience. She would want compassion for Ben.
After taking everything into consideration, the judge handed down Ben's sentence.
I look at what the jury has told me, and unsolicited, they told me to be lenient with Mr. Elliott. Stand up, Mr. Elliott. Your range of punishment is from 5 years to 99. I sentence you to 15 years in prison.
Benjamin Elliott was sent to the Connolly Unit in Kennedy, Texas, where he will remain until the year 2040.
Well, at least he did get something, right? I don't know why they decided to give him leniency. I guess it was off of the parents, because the parents didn't want him to do that much time. I don't know, like, how can I put this? It just seemed like they were more concerned about this twin instead of the twin that lost their life. And you're literally saying that he is so remorseful. He didn't show any remorse. Why are you lying? He never did he cry. Not when he had his interrogation. He didn't show any remorse, or he was sad that his sister is gone, even while he's fighting the case in the court. He has his head down. He's not looking into anybody's face. He's into his own zone and everything. Like, I just feel like sometimes, I understand that you're like, one child is gone, you don't want to lose another one. But it's just hurtful to me. It's just hurtful to me that for you to like just be like, I'm so sorry that my daughter's not here, but she's not here, but I only have one kid left now, so I have to do what I can for my one kid. It just makes it seem like there was always favoritism there, and I don't like that, right? You are supposed to love your children equally and uniquely, right? Because your children are unique. You're never going to get a Megan ever again. Who Megan was to her family, to your family, you're not going to replicate that ever again. There's only one Megan. So please honor that. You know what I'm saying? Honor it. It's just sad. It's just really, really sad, man. It's so sad. So, so sad. And I want to say, shout out to Miss Boricua for giving out 5 memberships for the Let's Talk About It level. I appreciate you, good sis. I appreciate you so much. We have Miss Joanne. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It level. We have Sweetheart. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It level. Flower, how are you, darling? Good to see you. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It member. Lana Love. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It membership. And Crystal Vance. Hello, how are you? Happy Monday. And welcome to the Let's Talk About It level. Truly appreciate you, Miss Jalen, Miss Boricua. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So I have another case for you good folks. Please go ahead and hit the like button for me. It truly helps the channel. Or you can hit the down button. It still helps the channel. Share this out to anyone who likes this commentary. And if you have any cases that you will personally like me to review, go ahead and put it in the comment section at the end of the live stream. I look at all my comments, I heart them, and I will put it on our list so we can review it on this channel later on, okay? So I appreciate you all. Hey, Rivera, how you doing? Que lo que? Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. All right, so the next case I have for you good folks is about a predator cop. Okay, you know how I feel when we have our law enforcement people not doing what they're supposed to do. Y'all making us look bad out here. You gotta stop it. But a predator cop turns off his body cam, but he doesn't realize, I guess, it's still on. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this and see how this plays out. Let me go ahead and pull up my screen, and here we go.
Oh no! You think I'm kidding?
Seriously, stop. Oh, you stepped on the nail.
He was like, please, will you show me your boobs? I won't say nothing. Nobody will know.
You're just really all over me. This is police brutality.
Who would believe my word over somebody who is authority?
Disturbing allegations land a Springfield, Illinois officer at the center of an investigation into police misconduct. The truth isn't what his body cam records, but in what happens when he turns it off. One by one, victims come forward to unmask a predator in uniform, targeting the very people he swore to protect.
He's very creepy. And I'm most positive that I'm not the first one that's had to go through this with him.
The following is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before until now. In February of 2021, the Illinois State Police, at the request of the Springfield Police Department, launched a criminal investigation into Officer Taylor Staff, a 3-year veteran of the department, over allegations stemming from incidents while on duty.
An officer came to a domestic dispute. My kids' dad went to jail. The officer that had came there, I think there was 2 or 3 officers, but there was 2 in the kitchen, and there was one that came to the hallway because he heard that I had no shirt on.
On April 22, 2020, Officer Taylor's staff and his colleagues responded to a domestic disturbance reported by the victim's mother. When they arrived, she met officers at the door.
They're in the bathroom.
Staff up here. Which way?
They're in the bathroom, I believe.
Is that on the first floor?
Yes.
Okay. There they are. Come talk to us real quick. Oh, she's naked.
Yeah, please get him out of here.
Oh my God. Just come talk to us. Oh my.
You're acting crazy as hell. Busted down this door.
I didn't mean to bring
He
him
needs to go to jail.
Come talk.
Yeah, he needs to go. Let's hold door down.
You want to get dressed real quick and talk to us?
Yeah.
What happened?
We were drinking all night.
Not as snowing. Hey, Tennessee getting snow.
It's been an argument since because her and her friends were naked sending videos on some website. She's naked right this second.
She's getting dressed.
Okay.
While one officer remains in the kitchen with the suspect, officer staff heads down the hallway toward the victim's bedroom.
Once he realized I was naked, he was trying to approach himself more.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Does he stay here?
They're gonna lie about
And he
whatever.
needs to go. Look
Okay.
at this.
Does he have any property here?
No. Can you look at this? He just
Okay.
completely disabled it. Told me that I needed to talk to him right now.
What did he? You probably don't know. Did he? Right. Did he kick the door in?
No.
Did someone let him in?
The door was unlocked, so he came in.
He just walked in. I'll let you get dressed. Sorry.
Officer staff leaves her alone to put clothes on and returns to the kitchen where his colleague is still trying to get the full story.
Dude, I'm the breadwinner, bro. I take care of my kids. I come here. I bought her a car. I got Mercedes outside me. I got bank accounts with tens of thousands of dollars in it. I take care of my family, and she's just mad because we're not together. And I don't even know. At this point, I just want to leave, honestly, because my feelings are hurt. Then she calls the cops again after an argument, and now she's gonna false accusate everything. I supposedly kicked the door down and then rebuilt it before you guys got here in 5 minutes.
Moments later, the woman emerges clutching a torn t-shirt and steps outside, remaining with officer staff who...
I just want to say that this, so far, the story is kind of bonkers because you said that you're not together. So if you're not together and you're saying that she's mad that you're not together anymore, why did you let them in your house, right? And then now I'm kind of concerned, why were these women naked, or what was they wearing? So I'm kind of thinking, and I could be completely wrong. Y'all know I have been wrong before, and I don't mind admitting when I am wrong. But I'm getting that they were making extra money probably doing OnlyFans content at his house. Then it seemed like he probably got upset about it, or something was being done that he didn't like between these two women, and an argument happened, and it kind of got a little aggressive. Words started to destroy things in the house, like hit the wall or throw something or whatever not. And then that's when the cops was involved, because clearly, if you're not together anymore, then she has no real reason to be in your house. And then why is she there with a girlfriend and they're naked? You said that you work, you say that you pay all your bills and all the stuff like that. So, I mean, were you allowing them to use your house to do OnlyFans content, or some type of corn content? Is that what's going on? And I'm wondering whether or not if the police is going to look into that a little bit more, right? Just saying. Boricua said, OnlyFans making that bad pimp daddy. Yeah, my spidey senses are tingling right now. It's just like, I'm starting to put two to two together, and I'm wondering, okay, so what was in that house doing? You wasn't partaking in this. I mean, if it was going to be a threesome, I should see you kind of naked too, you know what I'm saying? Trying to run around, catch clothes, like a lucky man, but you're fully clothed. So I'm thinking that there was something else going on in that house. And apparently that's your house too. He said, MJ wrong when? I must have missed the episode. Okay, Brucey. Okay, let's go on.
Who addresses her with a gentle tone.
There's probably marks from the shirt ripping.
Okay. What's that from?
No. It's from the shirt he ripped off.
Did he rip that
She's
off?
got
a fight with her friend Kim.
Okay.
I'll call her right now.
Because I wouldn't talk to him.
Okay, did he put hands on you at all in any other way?
No, he just ripped this off me.
He's definitely not going to be here.
We're going to court.
I can promise you that.
Listen, you're gonna stay. Her car's not even here because I brought her here because she was drunk at a party, man.
How many times am I gonna have to tell you? We have to get both sides.
Because I'm upset.
I know,
this is life.
but you need to listen, okay? We have to get both sides of the story, man. The longer you keep interrupting her and trying to yell, the longer we're gonna be.
Because I hear her lying, it's pissing me off. Last time I beat holes and did all kinds of and drove off and all kinds of stupid and none of it's true.
You have to understand, we go what's called probable cause. Okay, that's what we have to base everything off of. Okay, I haven't spoken to you. Okay, I plan on it. Okay. So whatever you said to him, unfortunately, I'll probably ask you some more questions that he's already probably asked you. Okay, hold on. We're not going to address that now. Okay.
I'm just putting this out.
Okay. As for the time being, okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put you in handcuffs. Okay, because you're under arrest for domestic battery.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
All right, let's go. I'm going to jail. Let's go.
Okay.
The officers escort the man toward a police cruiser, while officer staff remains with the victim.
You do this often, or?
Yes, we just have DCFS here.
Okay. All right. Well, he's out of your hair for the night.
Though officer staff offers calm reassurance, her harrowing night is far from over.
Oh, are you kidding me? Dude, she was fighting with her friend. That's when my car's dented. Go look at the hood of my car. Dude, I'm done. Never again. I'm so done with you, bro. Yeah, you lied again. So, good luck. I'm going to Pride jail, it looks like. Well, I do love you still. Just know that, no matter what.
Probably the back one.
Here we go. Dude, get me out of here. I'm sick of this life.
Shortly after his arrest, the victim and her mother were shocked to hear an unexpected knock at their door.
Me and my mom are like, oh my God, nervous again. Like, what's going on? Did he already get out or what? My mom had came to the door and it was the police officer and she was like, it's the cop again. Whenever I had came back outside to him, he shut his cam off. Okay. That instantly popped the flag in my brain. So then he said, you are very hot. And I was like,
hi, Skinny.
okay.
How you doing?
He was
Happy
like,
Monday.
I definitely got turned on by you getting out of the tub or whatever inside. And I was like, okay. And he was like, well, I know it was weird I came back, but I just couldn't not come back and ask you if you would ever be interested in going on a date with me. And I said no.
According to the victim, he returned to her home at a later date, following a separate incident involving her and another girl who had fought at a bar. For a second time, her shirt had been torn open.
He said, I missed you. I said, okay, that's weird.
Thank you, Turkey.
Like, okay. And he was like, I miss you calling us. And I'm like, I don't. And then he was like, well, he turned off his cam at that point. Somewhere around that point, he turned off his cam again. And then he said, can you please show me your boobs? And I was like, no. And he was like, please, will you show me your boobs? I won't say nothing. Nobody will know. Like, I just want to see them. And I was like, well, they're already halfway out. Like, my shirt's ripped. And that's unnecessary. So then I went back inside and he left. He's very creepy. And I'm most positive that I'm not the first woman that's had to go through this with him.
Why do you say that?
You can just
tell, feeling. So
you can tell a good officer to an officer that tries to take advantage of their position and what they do.
She explains that at first she didn't report what happened, as she didn't know the officer's name at the time. However, she later confided in another officer, finally revealing the disturbing encounter.
What did he say about that officer? Did he say...
It was like he knew. Yeah. He knew what kind of an officer he was.
Did you pull up a picture of him?
Mm-hmm.
Or like on Facebook or
of
something?
Him and his girlfriend.
Oh.
He's like, why didn't you do anything about it? I was like,
Ain't this quite similar to the last case that I went over back in a month ago? You remember with the two cops, the baby daddy and the cop that was running that gang on the baby mother? It seems quite similar. You remember how he was having passes at her, and so apparently she gave him oral sex, and she tried to trap him with the phone call, and he hung up. It's giving me some familiarity with this. Like, wow. It's just like, wow. Brucey said, no, you can't see my boobs unless you pay me $2.99 subscription to my only. Lord, no. Hey, Lana, how are you, dear? How are you? Oh, my goodness. Turkey said, and I guess he didn't think she was going to say anything. Yeah, I mean, I guess because, if they were in there doing any form of OnlyFans content, then they think, oh, she's down for whatever. And that's not the case, right? There's some women who do go into that type of career field, but that doesn't mean that anybody will have access to them. That's not the case. That's not how everybody moves, but because it's that particular type of career field, people think that you would do anything for a buck or a smile. It's sad, unfortunately. Good officers, do they exist? I never met one. There are some skinny. There are some. It's just they really do get overshadowed by the ones who hide behind them, right? But then what's so funny? That's like with everyone in life. There's always a whole bunch of bad apples that they know that they can get under the umbrella of good folks, and they get protected by the good folks, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, subconsciously, and they that's how they navigate, and they can affect their prey, right? Because they hide under that umbrella, so you don't look at them closely. And you can find it in so many cases, so many cases that be happening. Let's see. Turkey said, what he's thinking, he got to get a subscription for that. Oh my God. Oh, this video comes from EWU, Them Times Chains. Okay. Yeah. You can check out EWU's channel. Shout out to them. If you want to see the whole thing for yourself. Joanne said, but sometimes it might be true about the OnlyFans girls, but they aren't giving it away. Right. Exactly, Miss Joanne. Exactly.
Felt like it's an officer. Like, who's going to believe my word? You know what I mean? I just felt like who would believe my word over somebody who is authority.
Other victims would soon come forward with similar fears, as even more egregious incidents began to surface. Investigators learned that just 1 month earlier, on March 27, 2020, Officer Staff responded to yet another domestic violence call, entering a trailer to find an injured woman in tears.
What happened?
Punched me in my face.
Did you guys get in an argument? Okay.
I woke up, he was drinking. I went to the bathroom, broke it down, and I came back to bed and he punched me in my mouth.
Okay. Why was he? Why was he upset?
I don't know.
Okay. Let me see you around real fast. My child. Okay. Where's he in his room?
I've been recording.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go talk to him. Okay.
There's blood all over my sheet.
Okay. And what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
I just asked you that.
Oh, I'm not in your house. What?
You and didn't get in an argument or something?
Dude, I have not argued with her. I have not seen her since like midnight this evening. I went to sleep around 2 o'clock in the morning. I got done playing my online game and went to sleep.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to her. I got your side or your.
No, I'm coming.
Well, how about
What is going on?
How about for right now? I just go talk to her. Okay.
No,
Here's the thing. I know she drinks. I know you drink. Okay. Would you?
I've been drinking, but I've been sleeping. What's going on right now, sir?
I'm just gonna go talk to her. You're not in trouble. If you were in trouble, you'd know by now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well,
Okay,
I
so
know.
why
I
don't
know you too.
I'm by myself right now.
Okay,
So for this time
but-
being, just stay where you're at. Okay. I'd appreciate it. He's saying he was sleeping.
He's late.
All right. Yeah, that's not a no-go. You have visible evidence that an altercation happened. I don't even understand why you're there by yourself. You shouldn't be there by yourself. You should always have someone with you. And y'all supposed to tag team, keep them separate, and get their stories and see which one makes sense, which one is a fabrication. But the simple fact that you're trying to soothe him, as in, look, I see y'all both drinking and all this stuff like that. She didn't harm herself. She didn't punch herself in the face. You see blood on her feet. Like, and you say you're not in trouble. You told him she's not in trouble. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sit very well with me. It's a good thing that they have him on camera because I guess they're trying to now tell us certain things that they started to see in his background, right? Some things that probably have came up or he probably have got disciplined on. So it makes sense. It makes definitely sense. Miss Joanne said, I feel sorry for the second girl. I do. I really do. She seemed really shook up and really scared. Yeah, the house is filthy. Absolutely. How you sleeping and still drunk? You should have been knocked out for real. He got to find anything he can to take that man. Yeah. Serious, where his backup? Right. Must have just fell asleep. I think he just fell asleep, if anything. And that's only if I even believe that. I think that he was just sitting in there acting like he was sleeping. He didn't know what was going on.
Okay. Well, what?
Look at my face.
I'm not doubting you. I see it. Okay.
When backup arrived, Officer Staff returned to the bedroom and instructed the male to put on clothes and shoes.
What am I being charged with?
Did I even say we're being charged with anything?
Oh, well, then I'm sitting my down.
Well, no. I mean, you need to get some shoes
Figure
on.
out my charges.
Get some shoes on, man. Okay, I'll explain everything.
There's no reason I should have shoes on. I should be going to sleep.
Okay. I'll say this to you again. You're either gonna put some shoes on, or this isn't gonna be the way you want to end the night. I'll promise you that. Okay.
Similar to the previous incident, Officer Staff placed the suspect under arrest and removed him from the home.
Wow, this is crazy, guys. I've not done any of this.
Danny, I know. We hear what you're saying. Okay. I don't want you to think that we're not listening to you. Okay?
Yeah, I know what you're not listening to me because you go throw me in the cell and I never see either of you guys again and I get charged in court. What is going on? I've been sleeping.
Dan, you know I've been out here a few times. Okay. And you even said every time we're out here, everything's smooth. Okay. I've always treated you with respect. I've always answered your questions.
Can I just leave and not ever come back?
I mean, maybe if you want to do that after whatever the judge decides to do, but
let's go to jail.
According to the victim, it was shortly after the man had been taken to jail when Officer Staff returned to her trailer. He walked inside uninvited and entered her bedroom. With his body camera switched off, he put his hand up her shirt and squeezed her
Oh,
breast.
absolutely. Women do
She
definitely
pushed him
like
away, and a short time
I
later,
would
he
not
left the
step past
home.
that. No.
But the intrusion didn't end there. Soon
Hey,
after,
Drew,
he
how are
began
you?
texting
Happy
her,
holidays to
asking
you
for
and
nude
blessings to your
photographs.
family. Hope all is
She never
well. And thank
reported
you
the
very much.
incidents, convinced no one would believe her. As the investigation continued, they uncovered more incidents where staff had texted women after obtaining their phone numbers while on duty and in uniform.
How did you meet him?
I was in a parking lot at Noonan True Value. Just got done inside and they were closing, or closed already. Officer staff, whatever, so called, walked up to the car and asked if I had any problems or if I was, well, he made a joke. He's like, some kind of drug deal going on. Or made a joke. I was coloring, waiting in the parking lot. So yeah, that's how he came up.
According to her statement, Officer Staff claimed he recognized her as a witness to a recent burglary. He asked for her phone number and soon began texting her.
What did he text you about?
It's kind of flirty stuff. It wasn't anything super inappropriate. Asked if I had a boyfriend and things of that nature.
Did he ever ask to meet up with you?
Yeah. I mean, no offense, but police officers are intimidating sometimes. And I wasn't trying to be like, leave me alone. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not in town tonight. Or, yeah, sure, I'll try to swing by there whenever.
Did he ever do or say anything else or anything weird or anything like when you guys were texting or that night that he met you?
I thought all of it was weird. I mean, police officers don't usually ask you for your phone number.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
I thought it was just, like I said, it was something that I didn't expect to happen. And I wasn't in any kind of position I didn't think to say no.
With each new account, the investigation revealed circumstances that grew even more heinous. In April of 2020, officer staff responded to a domestic dispute between a male and female. In this instance, both were arrested at the scene, but according to one officer, the female wasn't processed at the jail.
Do you know why she didn't get booked?
I think my report, they said like her eye was too bloodshot, so they weren't going to take her.
So the jail said they didn't want to take her?
Correct.
Okay. What happened with her as far as like her charges?
She was issued a notice to appear for domestic battery.
Well, what happens to her after that you know of?
I was getting off my shift, so I believe officer staff gave her a ride back to her house.
Okay.
With the notice to appear.
Were they talking to each other or anything like throughout this incident?
All I remember, she was really intoxicated. I don't know if she was saying, she was saying a lot of stuff, but I really don't recall what she was saying. I just know she was very intoxicated that night.
And do you know, did he make any comments or anything, or did she make any comments before they left?
She was saying a lot of stuff. I think she was saying stuff about like or something sexual. But I don't know if that was directed towards me or him. I really don't remember.
I gotcha.
Because she's deaf, right?
Yes, she
was hard to understand, very intoxicated.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
In an interview with the female, investigators learned that after driving her home, officer staff walked her back to her bedroom. He then turned off and...
Okay, this is getting even more disturbing as we continue to go on. You notice that he has a pattern, this officer. Every woman that he has kind of made advances at sexually has been battered or has been in a domestic violent situation and also has been intoxicated. And then he's always going above and beyond to take them home, really make himself comfortable in their house, trying to get their personal details, calling them, even when the reports are already in at the court, at the jail. You know what I'm saying? If the person's in the jail, everything is done. So there's no real interactions that you should be having with this potential victim, because you're not going to be her caseworker if she decides to take this person to court, or. So why are you doing above and beyond and keeping in contact and tabs with them? He really does have a type, and that's what he's showing. And that's probably one of the reasons why they decided to look back into all his other calls that he answered, whether it's for civil disobedience, domestic violence, you name it. But I just see that there's a pattern with him. These women are intoxicated, whether it's they're drinking or on some type of substance. A lot of these women seem like they're not in very stable environments. The households look in shambles. He has a type. He has a type. He really does have a type. Let's see. Skinny said, I don't agree. I don't agree with anyone being abusive, male or female. I don't either, Skinny. I don't think nobody should be abused, really. Yeah, you did tell me, Turkey. You did. You absolutely did. He likes the vulnerable. Yeah, exactly, Miss Joanne. That's what it seems. He definitely likes the vulnerable. Yeah, it seems like it. It definitely seems like it. Hi, Reading Bukes. How you doing, darling? It's good to see you, ma'am. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm so glad that you're up a little bit to see the show. I hope everything's well with you, dear. Hope everything is well with you. Borico said he's a serial beater. Whew. All right, let's see. King Kamikaze said that cop must have been abused in his life. You know the mantra, hurt people, hurt people. Yeah, it has some truth to it, don't it?
Removed his body camera and began taking off his clothes. According to her statement, he told her he got her out of jail and she felt pressured to give in to his sexual demands. Eerily, she recalls him smiling as though it were a joke, describing him as a child laughing. He warned her not to tell anyone, saying he would know if she did. Then he took her ID and left. In speaking with another officer, investigators learn of another incident that occurred as far back as January of 2020, when Officer Staff and his colleagues arrested multiple intoxicated women who were trespassing at a Pillsbury plant.
You alright? No.
You need a hand?
No.
Okay. Wait,
He got Shannon.
where's the boy at?
He's up in like the 5th floor. No, he's not lost. He's not coming. I tried. He's trying to find our phones, but my sister.
She has your phone.
She has all 4 of them.
Yeah.
She hit me in the head and she hit her jaw. Feel her head. Feel my head right here. Can you feel her head?
No, I can't.
Please, right here.
Well, here's the thing. That's not the most important thing right now.
That's the most important.
It's getting out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is not okay.
She took our keys and everything.
Come on. Okay.
Took all of our keys and everything.
Okay, we got it. Here, are you?
No. And she hit me in the head.
I know, but you're drunk. Okay.
I am.
I see you have no shoes on.
Yeah,
Okay.
she took my shoes and everything.
Okay.
One of the two women, who are romantic partners, appeared to have a bloody nose sustained from an altercation with her sister while they were inside the factory.
My sister
Okay.
tried to kill me.
I know. I get, and we have officers out with her, so don't think that she just got away. Okay. The bad news is we have to make a little bit of a walk.
That's okay.
We have to literally walk
I'll
around the
walk
building.
wherever you gotta go.
Okay. So one
Come
person.
on. I'll carry you. I got you, dude.
Pull that blanket up.
I'll carry you. Come on. I'll carry you. Come on. Come on, get over my shoulder. I just want to go home. You want me to carry you? No. Okay. Stop.
Each officer took hold of their suspect and began the long walk back to a waiting ambulance. Along the way, the woman with Officer Staff asked a personal question.
Where?
No.
No.
Nope.
Why not?
Why would I be?
Oh, wouldn't you?
Are you?
Are you okay?
Why would you? What? She asked if, why would I be married?
No.
While escorting the intoxicated women through one section of the plant, disaster struck.
I have no shoes. No cord. You want to be on my back? No. Oh, no! You think I'm kidding?
Seriously, stop. Oh, you stepped on a nail. Sit down. You gotta lay down. Sit down. Sit down. Got to lay down. I'm trying to pull it out.
Don't take it out! Don't take it out!
Despite the horrific setback, she managed to keep moving and walked ahead with another officer. The other woman, who had earlier asked Officer Staff if he was married, walked with him as the two fell behind the group. Moments later, the woman's breast became exposed to the camera.
What the fuck?
According to investigative notes, Officer Staff then extends his right hand in the woman's direction, but what he does is not fully captured. The body camera is then turned.
All right, my biggest thing is, if you came there and you see that they're in this abandoned place, apparently her sister went bonkers and tried to kill her other sister and I guess the friend, right? Why are you walking them back to the scene of the crime? That doesn't make any sense. If you guys was able to get there, why didn't you call EMS, right? To see if they're okay. You said someone got punched in their face, they were belligerent, you see that they're intoxicated. Why didn't you get EMS here on the scene? Or why would you send them back over there into the abandoned I guess warehouse that they were at? Why would you bring them back in there? You're having them walk, and then you realize one of them don't have no shoes on. It's snow all over the floor, and then what happens? She got a nail through her freaking foot. That's just bad policing. I don't know any police officer who is going to allow potential suspects, because they don't know if this situation was a mutual combat or was it just a full out assault. But why would you have them go back to the area that it happened at to look at what? To tell what? Y'all are supposed to go out there and investigate. You're supposed to keep them right there, keep them talking, right? And then you go and you find the other person that is missing. And you go into the warehouse and see if there's any evidence of a weapon being used or whatever else you need to look for, right? You don't go with them to go travel. She would have had never gotten hurt if you didn't walk them back into the warehouse. Like, I just find that really weird. I find it very well, because I don't know any police officers that I know, even the ones that I work with, would never do anything like that. They would never do anything like that. And then now all of a sudden, the same woman that you're having a conversation with, who's drunk, probably think you cute, asks you if you was married, you entertain her by saying, no, but are you married? And now all of a sudden, her boob gets flashed through your camera. Yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all. How big is your? Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, she stepped on a nail. Yeah, he's a boob guy. Apparently, yeah, he's a boob guy. He's a boob guy. He's definitely. Yeah, she had no shoes on. Right, exactly. They have no shoes on. They have no shoes on. They're intoxicated. They don't even have. It's snow. I'm thinking that it's really cold out there. They don't even have enough clothes on me. That's why she's covering the girl with the blanket on. Y'all not even trying to give them medical attention. We don't know if they dehydrated at this point, because it's cold outside. One don't have shoes on. They don't have heavier coats on. But y'all didn't do any of the protocols. You like, oh, let's just go back there and let's see if we can find your sister. That's not their job. Their job is not to go back there while you search the area and secure the area of the scene of a crime. Like, what? And then now to see a boob pop out. How did your boob pop out? How does it pop out? It's like 24 degrees. How did it pop out? At what point did the boob just go boop and pop out? These officers need to be fired. I agree. Okay, I ain't the only one that fight that, right? Miss Joanne said, I thought they were leaving the Pillsbury plant. I think the fight happened in that plant. I think that's what this abandoned plant is. If you're right, Miss Joanne, it might be that's what it is. Good God, that sounds terrible. The whole nail thing, yeah, that probably went very deep in her foot. Very deep in her foot. This is crazy. And then she asked how big his gobbler was, and then he turned off the camera. Right, exactly. Coincidence? Nah, bruh. No, it's not. Ricardo, how are you? It's good to see you again, sir. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Long time no see. I hope everything's well with you and wifey. I wasn't there, but it did, right. A predator with a badge. It seems so. He takes advantage of it. He takes advantage of it. It was a no slip, like Janet. Yeah. That's going to be forever embedded in history, right? What case is this about? And good evening. Good evening, John. This is a case about a cop, a predator cop. It seems like he goes after vulnerable women who just so happens had a domestic violence case, or they're intoxicated. And we're reviewing how plethora of different videos they have of him doing the most, being very inappropriate while he's at work. Let's see. Turkey said it right, Bruce. Whoops, freezing out my clothing. Right. No, ain't nobody, I'm sorry, ain't nobody popping out no titty in no 20-degree weather. What's like, well, I don't know what's going on with you. That's not what it is. That's what it is. Let's go on.
Turned off for 6 minutes.
So the only thing that shows on these cameras is a little red dot that shows when your camera's recording. Yeah. And I do not recall it being on when we got to the ambulance.
In footage from the incident, 2 of the female suspects arrived at the ambulance, while the one who was with Officer Staff was taken to a police cruiser. After she learned she was about to be arrested, she made an accusation against Officer Staff, but the other officers didn't seem to believe her.
So not only you, okay, every single person.
Okay, are we gonna fight right now? Because you know what, you were just all over me. So stop.
Okay.
There's gonna be an issue because you were just literally...
Here's the deal. There's not gonna be an issue.
No,
Yes.
I will get a lawyer.
Okay, get one. Get one.
I will get a lawyer.
Cool. All right, you're under arrest.
I will get an arrest because you was all over me.
Stop
Really? He was
pulling
just
away, okay? He wasn't, 'cause I was with him.
No, you were
Cody,
not.
put on
You
the
were
car.
not there when he was... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I got both. You're good.
You're just literally all over me. This is police brutality. Really?
Yes, really, you're drunk. You can't
You
stand
stole my and everything. He really did. I'm not even kidding.
One officer later recalled the victim saying something else to Officer Staff.
What exactly did she say, and how did she say it?
That's why I don't want to misquote, but it was...
Did she say genitals?
No, something along the lines of, if I showed you my I'd go home, not to jail.
According to her later interview, it was after he shut off his body camera that Officer Staff put his hand down her pants and inside her underwear.
Without knowing actually what happened, what is your opinion? Do you think that this is something that he had the ability and capability, and that he's the type of guy like this? Like, does the shoe fit?
I would not say it's completely out of character. I didn't like working with him. Like, I don't like the way he is personally. I've never had one of these complaints made against me. And the fact that there's just multiple complaints coming against one person, it just seems to ring a little bit of an alarm. Here recently, there's been a couple more things come out since I've been speaking with these other officers, and that's when we decided, there's a lot of coincidences going on. So that's why we all wanted to come forward.
On February 24th, 2021, the Illinois State Police arrested Officer Taylor Staff at his residence and transported him to the Sangamon County Jail, held on a $250,000 bond. Staff pleaded guilty to 5 charges as part of a plea deal, including aggravated criminal sexual abuse, custodial sexual misconduct, criminal sexual abuse, and 2 counts of official misconduct. He was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, with credit for 998 days already served, followed by 1 year of supervised release. He's also required to register as a lifetime sex offender. As a result of his felony convictions, Taylor's Staff is effectively barred from ever serving in law enforcement again. If you'd like to see select new videos early, watch our content without censored and muted words throughout, and see details we couldn't include here, you'll find extra footage on our Patreon. Channel memberships here on YouTube also include early access to select new videos.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That was really weird, kind of crazy. Let me go ahead and go to another one. I have somebody at my door, probably just a mail thing. So let me go ahead and pull up the next one. The next one is a killer wife realizes that she's been caught. So we're going to check this one out. Make sure you're hitting the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. And here we go.
On February 16th, 2022, at 7:52 p.m., the Jacksonville Police Department received a 911 call from a man reporting shots fired.
Jacksonville Beach, 911.
Hey, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just heard 3 or 4 gunshots, and now there's a bunch of cars that are backed up. Just thought you might want to get somebody out here because I was 100% gunshots.
All right, I'll get him over there.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Moments later, the police department received more 911 calls, this time reporting that someone had collapsed next to their vehicle and was blocking the road.
There is a car standing in the middle of the road. There is a guy standing on the floor. Hi, yes, I'm calling. There's a guy in the middle of the road, and he's laying on the ground. He's just laying there having a heart attack or something. And he has a little kid in the car. My husband right now is holding her. She was crying.
Officers rushed to the scene on Sanctuary Boulevard, where they found a black Volkswagen Atlas blocking traffic. On the ground beside it, 33-year-old Jared Bridegan was lying unresponsive, covered in blood. He was surrounded by multiple shell casings and had 2 gunshot wounds to his torso. It was clear that Jared had already succumbed to his injuries. The officers noted that Jared was unarmed and none of his personal items were stolen, including his wristwatch, phone, money, and wallet. To the first responders, this didn't seem like a robbery gone wrong. It was more likely a targeted attack. The SUV was struck by 2 bullets as well, just feet away from where Jared's 2-year-old daughter Bexley was found strapped into the back seat. In front of the SUV, there was a damaged tire in the middle of the road. The tire belonged to a 2004 Ford F-150. Unfortunately, none of the bystanders witnessed the attack or spotted a suspect fleeing the scene. So, the detectives who were assigned to the case hunted down surveillance cameras in the area and were able to piece together a brief timeline of the crime. At 7:50 p.m., Jared was seen driving behind a dark blue Ford F-150, which matched the tire at the crime scene. Therefore, the detectives believed that whoever was in this truck intentionally placed the tire on the road to block Jared's path. At 7:52 p.m., Jared stopped his vehicle to move the tire, and moments later, 4 gunshots rang out. To the detective's surprise, the shooter didn't hop back in the truck and drive off. Instead, he fled the scene on foot. His accomplice had left him behind. Unfortunately, the surveillance cameras could only track the vehicle so far, and the investigators were unable to get a positive ID on the shooter. But they weren't at a dead end quite yet. They now knew what the assailant's vehicle looked like. They distributed this information to several media outlets and urged the public to be on the lookout. Meanwhile, investigators began interviewing Jared's inner circle, which included his ex-wife, Shanna Gardner. Jared and Shanna shared custody of their twins named Abby and Liam. They alternated custody every week, and on Wednesdays, the parent who didn't have custody that week would have a visitation with the twins for a little over an hour. The night of the murder was on a Wednesday, and it was Jared's turn for a visitation. He had just dropped the twins off at Shanna's and was on his way home when the shooting occurred. The detectives wondered if Shanna could provide more insight into the moments leading up to Jared's death. So they went to her house and were met by her and her husband, Mario Fernandez. Shanna said that the only contact she had with Jared that night was when he arrived at her house to pick up the twins and texted her that he was there. As for Mario, he said that he had taken some medicine and was passed out on the couch. However, while interviewing Liam, he had a different recollection of Mario's whereabouts that night.
Was Mario home when you got home? Yeah, he plays video games. He was playing his video games at his desk. Did you actually see him playing his video games, or you think that's what he's doing? I mean, he had his headphones, he had the controller, and then I heard, fire, because we play Call of Duty. It's a shooting game. Okay. And so I'm pretty sure he was. I heard the thing. He had his gaming headphones. He had the controller. So I'm pretty sure he was. Okay. And I think I looked over one time.
Liam could only say that he thinks he looked into the gaming room and was pretty sure Mario was there, so he clearly wasn't certain. However, both Liam and Abby agreed that they didn't see Mario on the couch that night. The police weren't sure what to believe at this point, but they found Mario's alibi suspicious. So they kept him on their radar while they continued their investigation, gathering as much information as possible. Several months went by without any significant leads. During this time, Shanna hired a criminal attorney and a PR team, then went radio silent. The only insight into her life came from her mom, Shelley Gardner, who ran a blog named So Shelley. According to one of her posts, Shanna wasn't invited to Jared's funeral, so they held their own celebration of life for Jared. In one of the photos from the event, Shanna and Mario are shown beaming for the camera. Soon after this celebration, Shanna and Mario took the twins on vacation to an all-inclusive resort. Due to Shanna's ugly history with Jared and her chipper attitude following his death, rumors were beginning to spread that she was somehow involved in his murder. On June 28, 2022, one of Shanna's co-workers and closest friends, named Elizabeth Smith, reached out to the authorities with information related to Jared's death. A meeting was arranged with Christina Stifler of the state attorney's office so that Elizabeth could give a sworn statement. She started by recounting something odd that Shanna said to her at work one day.
You were talking about something that Shanna told you while you all were working at the school, that she was complaining about her and Jared's kind of custody battle. And she told you that, Mario has a military background. He said he could get 4 people and break into his house in the middle of the night and, quote, take care of him and no one would ever know. Is that right?
Yes.
And Shanna said Mario said that in reference to Jared.
Yes.
What was her demeanor kind of when she was telling you this?
Very casual. There was nothing concerning from her. I mean, she kind of laughed it off.
Elizabeth also had a strange interaction with Mario at a dinner around the same time.
You and Mario were kind of having like a contentious discussion at this dinner. He was challenging you about your faith and you weren't backing down.
Yes.
Okay. And you said at some point he kind of looked at you and you called it a stare down.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
What did he say?
He said, I'm in the military, I've killed people before.
And you said that Shanna could tell you were uncomfortable.
I don't know why people think that just because being in the military, that means you kill people. That's not true. Okay. And yes, guys, I'm back. I am so sorry I had to stay away for a little bit. I had somebody trying to sell me to redo my windows, and I'm going to get a quote if I want to get that done. I like the fact that my windows are wood and vinyl because I still have the historic wood from the early 1900s all around my house, and I like that. But we'll see. So I appreciate you for having me step away. But the thing about it is, I don't like when people talk about everybody in the military. Everybody in the military is a killer. That is not true. That is not true, right? There were cooks, there were cleaner people had KP duty, people were just engineer, people was a part of the geek squad dealing with engineering and radios and stuff like that, but not everybody was literally combat arms, right? But if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. So right now, I see that she's having a discussion with the detective, asking her very uncomfortable questions, and let's see what else she has to say.
After this dinner, she sort of called you and apologized.
Yes.
Elizabeth then told the detectives about the beginning of Shanna and Mario's relationship. Apparently, they had only dated for about 4 weeks before tying the knot. But according to Elizabeth, this wasn't a case of love at first sight. In fact, Mario didn't even want anyone to know about the marriage.
And their relationship when they got married, you said that Mario kind of wanted to keep it secret, and Shanna sort of told you that the marriage, it would be better for her custody battle for her to be married.
Hey, Rivera, yes. How are you?
And that you knew that she got more money from her family if she was married because, they're very devout Mormons.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Shanna's parents were multi-millionaires thanks to Shelley's extremely successful craft company, Stampin' Up. A large portion of Shanna's income came from her parents, and they gave her even more money as a married woman than if she was single. Their marriage appeared to be more of a transactional relationship than a testament to their love, and the several times Mario flagrantly cheated on her only supported this.
She had found out and walked in on him taking photos of a woman that he flew in from California who had aspirations to become a and he decided to manage her.
Okay. She also had come into the home and seen that he was getting from girls that he had over to the house. Okay.
It was clear that Shanna and Mario's relationship was full of red flags. So, the detectives looked.
So, it seems like they kind of have a motive, right? They kind of have a motive there. If he was dealing with other women and stuff like that, pretty much he kind of got married to her as an opportunist. There's some motive there, right? It could be out of jealousy. It can be out of probably not trying to. He was probably going to leave her, and she didn't want to share anything that they built with each other, or maybe the home. Who knows? There could have been so many other things that's going on, and this seems very odd. This seems very odd about it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Halloween. Thank you very much for subscribing. Truly appreciate you. Ricardo said, "What the?" Yeah, right.
Further into Mario's background and discovered that he had a history of violent aggression. Mario used to be a drill instructor in the army, but things went south when he was charged with assaulting one of his recruits. The charge was ultimately dropped, but this incident resulted in an other than honorable discharge in 2018. Then, when Mario and Shanna moved in together later that year, he used a BB gun to fatally shoot a stray cat named Apollo, an adored member of the community. When police asked him about the incident, he admitted to shooting the cat because it kept making his dog bark. He was never prosecuted for this incident because the police were unsuccessful in following up with him. Mario's short temper and pattern of violence made the detectives wonder if he had snapped and killed Jared in a fit of rage. While the detectives took a closer look into his records, Shanna suddenly participated in a news interview, finally breaking her silence.
I was asked to not talk to the media or give a public statement, but with the level of speculation, I felt that now it was necessary to speak out.
The reporter didn't shy away from asking the tough questions. She started by asking Shanna about her divorce with Jared.
Anytime divorce comes into any situation, it's messy.
Although she claimed there was a normal amount of hostility during the divorce, court documents showed that it was a lot worse than Shanna was chalking it up to be. The reason Shanna filed for divorce in the first place was because she was caught cheating on Jared with her personal trainer. An intense custody battle ensued, and for over 5 years, vicious accusations were thrown back and forth. Although they were eventually able to reach the custody agreement we mentioned earlier, animosity between the two couples lingered. Regardless, Shanna was ready to let go of her shaky past with Jared. She even said that sharing custody with him was a blessing.
I remember my son.
Okay, so it seems like their marriage just became very toxic. He was cheating on her, she was cheating on him. He had anger management issues and PTSD, so he could have been verbally abusive if he wasn't physically abusive. I'm wondering, did she do this for self-defense? Or did she just do it because she was just angry with him, or she didn't want to have shared custody with him with their children? That's what I'm kind of wondering now. But yeah, he wasn't, he wasn't no catch. He seemed like he came with a lot of issues and problems. That doesn't mean you have the right to kill him, though.
Fucking him in and him saying that it was a good night.
She told the reporter that she was shattered when she learned.
Sorry, I just saw that. Shout out to Ricardo for sending a bouquet of 1,500 jewels. Thank you so much, sir. Truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. And also, again, Ricardo for sending a sun balloon for 500 jewels. Thank you so much, Ricardo. You have always been very supportive to this channel, and you are truly, truly appreciated. Truly appreciated, sir. Oh my goodness, not again. Ricardo sent mystery gift for 650 jewels. You are awesome sauce, dear sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, truly, truly appreciate it. King Kamikaze said, nah, there's something else under the surface for the both of them. I agree, King. I agree. There is something going on. It gets even more intriguing as it goes on, MJ. Oh, Brucey, did you see this one before? Halloween said, I think she killed him and hid the body. I believe so too. I believe that she did do something to him. But now I have to really figure out, what is the motive. Is it because he was abusive? Was it a self-defense type of situation? Did you get scared? Or was it you didn't want him to have 50-50 with the kids? Or palimony. I need to know. It seems like she probably had more money than him, so palimony could be on the plate. There's certain things that's being left out, but I guess we definitely, when we get into it, we'll figure it out. She wanted custody and she moved away, I think, to Colorado. Right. So she did want probably full custody, right? Mia said 4 kids, and instead of counseling, I throw marriage and family away. Some people, counseling don't help the way that a lot of people think that it should happen, Mia. Sometimes when you go to counseling, you kind of find yourself, and it kind of makes you focus on what you need to correct within yourself. Sometimes people can do that together as a unit, and sometimes people can't. I have seen counseling have negative and positive effects on people. Brucey said, yeah, I just watched this yesterday. Okay, cool. Let's go on.
That Jared was dead.
I fell to the floor because I was devastated. Even though we didn't always get along, he was still the father of my kids.
Did you have anything to do with Jared's murder?
No, I did not have anything to do with his murder.
Do you have any idea who might have done this?
I do not have any idea. All I know is that I would never want anybody to go through this.
As this interview was taking place, the detectives were looking through Mario's records, and they discovered that he owned a rental property in West Jacksonville on Potomac Avenue. The detectives headed over to speak with the tenant who lived there, a man named Jeremy Ordway. Jeremy told the detectives that he moved into Mario's property right after Jared's death back in February. The previous tenant was his friend named Henry.
That makes
And
sense,
speak of the
Lucy.
devil, in the middle of Jeremy's interview, a white Ford Crown Victoria backed into the driveway.
Yeah, I think that's
it was
the lady that wrote that
61-year-old
book,
Henry
yeah.
Tennant, the previous tenant that Jeremy was talking about. After wrapping up Jeremy's interview, the detectives immediately moved on to interviewing Henry.
So I just wanted to get a little bit of background on what you know about Mario.
Shoot, other than you own this place?
How long have you known him?
Ooh, probably about
4 years?
3.5 maybe.
So you've been renting here that long?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. Did you ever see him get, I don't know, violent or aggressive or anything like that? No.
He was always a rush guy. He come in, get his money.
Yeah.
Don't.
Once his interview was over, Henry quickly grabbed some things from the house and drove off in his Crown Vic. Then, one of the detectives noticed a tire leaning against the garage. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was the exact same tire and rim as the one at the crime scene. Jeremy told the officers that it randomly appeared at his curb a while back. He didn't know what to do with it since he didn't own a truck, and Henry's truck was towed somewhere months ago when his engine blew up. They asked what kind of truck Henry had, and Jeremy said it was a blue Ford F-150. They showed him a picture of the truck from the surveillance footage, and Jeremy said, yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, he wasn't sure where the truck was towed to, so the detectives had to think of a new game plan. Looking into Henry's criminal history, they learned that he had an extensive record littered with driving offenses. So they devised a plan to arrest Henry for being a habitual traffic offender. That way, they could question him about the truck and hopefully get him to confess to Jared's murder. On August 18th, 2022, Henry was pulled over in his white Crown Vic. His dog, as well as 2 random people, were in the car with him.
Still find out if I got any warrants. You'll find out soon enough.
While speaking to Henry, one of the officers noticed some marijuana in the door of the car, which gave them a good excuse to search the rest of the vehicle for anything related to Jared's death. The officer standing by with Henry asked who his passengers were. He said he was driving them to a nearby methadone clinic, a good deed that he does every day.
How long you been taking them to the methadone clinic? 8 years. Oh, dang.
Nothing significant was found in the search of Henry's car.
I mean, personally, I don't think that Henry did anything to Mario because even when he was discussing with the detective how Mario was, they didn't really have no type of friendship. He was just renting the house. Mario came to get his money and then he would dip, and that would just be the end of their relationship. It's just a business transaction. However, I do definitely understand why they wanted to question him, because one of the tires that was up against your garage is the same. I guess the matching tire was at the scene of the crime. And it is funny how you just said that was just randomly on the road and you pick it up and you put it over there because you didn't know what to do with it. I find that quite odd too. And then you knew exactly what type of vehicle Mario had as well. So I understand the whole process as into why they've tried to find certain ways to bring him in to question him about it, because, if Mario was there like maybe a couple weeks ago to pick up the rent, and then now he's found dead, but then that tire is there, and I would have did the same thing. That's all I'm really going to say. I would do the same thing. Barica said methadone clinic. Yeah, it seems like they're getting treatments. Maybe they have a drug problem. 8 years. How long does methadone treatments last? I have no clue. That I don't know. Mia said Mario maybe borrowed his truck. That could be a possibility too. Mia.
So the officer stuck to the plan and arrested him for his traffic violations.
Do me a favor, sir. Give the dog to my partner real quick. Hold on. Bring it back for me. I'm gonna put these on you. These are a lot more comfortable.
They put him in the back of a police cruiser and transported him to the state attorney's office to be interviewed by the detectives. Now that Henry was en route for questioning, the officer spoke to his passengers to see what they knew about him.
He's a good man. He really is. He's a good man.
This isn't his car, right?
No. No, it is his car.
But okay, so
It's his name.
it's not in his name.
Right.
What did he drive before that?
Bicycle.
He didn't have another vehicle?
Oh, gosh. No, bicycle. We've been driving bicycles.
So he said he's been transporting or taking you to the methadone clinic for like 8 years.
Yes, he's been taking me.
So what's he been taking you in? Because I know he hasn't been in this very long. Okay.
Yeah.
These strange answers were only adding to the confusion. How did they not remember any other vehicles Henry had driven them in? The officers wondered if they were covering for Henry, so they asked them to come down to the state attorney's office to be formally interviewed as well. But after a thorough questioning, it was clear that they were pretty clueless about Henry's involvement in Jared's murder. So they were free to go. Henry's interview, on the other hand, wasn't so easy.
Like I said, Henry, I'm Detective Cullen. This is my partner, Detective John. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
So far.
The detectives told Henry that they were part of a new department they called HOT.
You asked what HOT stood for? Habitual Offender Traffic
Joanne.
Task Force. So we work with habitual drivers. Okay? Okay. So tell me about the Crown Vic. How long you been driving it?
Oh wow,
Since
Turkey.
what, March, February
Of this year?
of this year.
Okay. So you had the Crown Vic since March. What were you driving prior to that? And I know the answer to this too.
My bicycle.
No, you're in a different vehicle. You're on these real-time cameras, and I have pictures of all this too, and I'll show you. So you drove a different car before that. It's not a trick question. I mean, you've been doing really well up until this point.
Henry doesn't realize that Jeremy had already confirmed that the truck in the surveillance video was his. After being called out, Henry immediately tried to backtrack by acting like he somehow forgot about his truck.
Now I'm starting to get concerned why you wouldn't want to talk about this other car you drove. Is there
The only piece that that aggravating ass truck I had.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What kind of truck was it? What model?
It was a Ford F-150.
Okay.
Larry.
What year was it?
2004.
Okay, so that's one of the older engines.
The detectives then revealed that they had tracked his
Mario's
movements
the
over
new
the past
husband.
8
Got it.
months using surveillance cameras around Jacksonville. He took the same route to and from work every day.
So that's what it is. So we have dozens of incidents with you driving the truck. All these images we have and shots of you driving and going places, a lot of them are repeat places. It's getting you going the same places all the time because you're a creature of habit. You kind of stay in your spot, right? Yeah.
But on February 16th, he suddenly decided to go to Jacksonville Beach right around the time of the murder.
You don't go to this place a bunch of times. This is the only time we ever capture you going to that place, that the cameras capture you going to these places.
It was clear where this interrogation was headed, but Henry continued playing dumb. So they dropped the guise of a traffic task force and got straight to the point.
All right, Henry. So here's what's up. Today's the most important day of your life. All right, I'm gonna shoot you straight. You got tough decisions to make, but there's really only one right answer. So we've told you a lot, but we haven't told you everything. It's way bigger than some traffic charges.
Yeah, I don't figure that much out already.
Okay,
I just don't know what.
Okay, well, this is a choice you get to make. You're at what they call a crossroads in your life, okay? One can lead to Henry still being Henry out, living a life potentially one day, because we know what Henry's all about. And he's not somebody that's going around doing violent things, doing vicious things to people. But somehow Henry got caught up in something, and then now it's spiraling out of control because these other people involved, because this is your vehicle involved that you're in, are going to point the finger at you. And they've already started to do that because no one wants to go to prison for the rest of their life.
Unfortunately, this straightforward approach wasn't working either. Henry told them that he just so happened to be at a restaurant in Jacksonville Beach on the night of the shooting, suggesting that someone else might have been driving his truck. But when they asked him who it could have been, he couldn't give a clear answer.
Henry, listen to me. I know this is a lot to take in. I need you to tell us everything you can.
So who would be driving his truck? Did he give his truck away to someone? Did he let someone use his truck? Did he let the wife use his truck? So what they saw when they seen that the truck was around the scene of the crime around that time that day, was it the wife? I want to know, did they even have surveillance of who they saw in the truck? And then it is peculiar that you just now you don't have your truck. Your truck is somewhere, and you're driving this other car. And then I'm also taking a very note of his mannerism. He is showing a little forthcoming. I do see it, the crossing of the legs. He had his arms crossed a little bit. Mia says Mario. Maybe. Her parents gave her massive cash payments if she married. She got divorced from Jared. They cut her money off. She married Mario to get her parents' money. Wow. Okay. So she was okay. All right. So she was marrying for money.
About what happened that night, and I need you to be honest. That's what we get to control, Henry. What's next? How am I remembered? How do I want to go out of this world? A man of character, a man who did what's right, or just some chump?
No matter how much the detective pleaded with Henry, he continued to change his story and tell more lies. The detective then asked him why he was scared to tell the truth, and Henry said his main concern is always about the safety of his kids. When Henry was asked what he meant by that, he wouldn't elaborate further.
Ain't nothing else I can give you. I don't think I need an attorney.
Since Henry invoked his right to an attorney, the detectives could no longer speak with him. Without a confession, they weren't quite ready to arrest Henry, so they transported him to his house and continued looking for more evidence. 2 months later, on October 14th, 2022, a random caller contacted the police saying they spotted a truck in someone's backyard that looked just like the suspect's vehicle. The police confirmed that it was in fact Henry's vehicle and spoke to the owner of the property, one of Henry's friends. However, it was ultimately determined that this friend had no ties or knowledge of Jared's murder, and the truck had no additional evidence inside it that could help prosecute Henry. They then looked into Mario and Henry's phone records and learned that the two had called each other 35 times in February and 30 more times in March. They then dug through Henry's financial records to see if there was some sort of payment for killing Jared, and it wasn't long before they found something. Henry deposited a handwritten check for $5,000 about a month after Jared's death. The check was from a company called First Choice Home Rentals, which was owned by none other than Mario Fernandez. Apparently, this money was meant to help Henry kickstart his own pallet recycling company. But the detectives found this unlikely, since there was no evidence of Henry investing in this business plan. Following the paper trail, the detectives learned that Mario directly funded First Choice Home Rentals using the money from Shanna's trust fund, which her parents would often make hefty contributions to. Something important to note is that Mario was the trustee of this fund, which meant that he had complete control over the money. This was done in order to prevent Jared from reaching into Shanna's pockets during their legal battles. We know this because there's a stipulation.
Okay, so there goes the motive. There goes the motive. It was both of them. It was the new husband and the wife. And she probably was definitely the mastermind. She didn't want Jared to get any of the money during the divorce and the custody battle. So she and her new husband find a way to funnel any of the money to go directly to him because his name is on it. So he wouldn't necessarily touch it. That's why he had it up in the business, right? Because if it's under his name under the business, she's not necessarily can touch it unless she's considered the partner of that business. Yeah, this is not looking good. It does look like it was hire for kill, It does look like that, and it doesn't look good for her husband, Mario. That's his name, Mario. It doesn't look good for him at all. It doesn't. It looks like he was well into. Okay, we're gonna have to figure something out about this guy. We're gonna have to figure something out with this guy. Let's see, Ricardo. Thank you so much. Sent Corgi for 1,000 jewels. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Truly appreciate you again, sir. Thank you so much. Turkey Lipstick sent makeup brush for Jewel 6. Thank you so much, Turkey. I truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. Vut said, quit killing people for money in custody. It's so disgusting. What people are capable for those two reasons. Now the kids have zero parents. Good one, dumbasses. I totally agree. Absolutely. Like, it doesn't really even make any sense, because if you get caught, your children don't have either parents now. Now your children is at the mercy if whether or not family members are going to actually step up and help raise them, take care of them, provide for them. And we know sometimes family is not how it used to be back then. A lot of family members, they like, we don't want that. We got our own thing going on. So those kids are, they can potentially be put into the system and have a harder life, but you're not thinking about that, because you think that you got everything figured out, you covered all your tracks and everything, and everything's going to work out within your favor. I don't know. But that's only because you're only thinking about yourself. If you was truly thinking about your kids, you wouldn't be doing anything like that. Just because he might have been a horrible spouse doesn't mean that he was a horrible father. But you think that it was okay to take your children's father away from them, which is really disgusting, if you really think about it. If you really think about it. Follow the money. Follow the money. Lark said, damn. Yep. 5,000 to eliminate someone. Yeah, that's not even no money. That's not even no money. Like, people get that on their tax returns. Like, that's just crazy. Was Henry involved? Yeah, Henry was involved. He was involved. I think that they had him do something, or they had him use his vehicle, and and made him dispersed at that time, go to a restaurant or something like that. It does seem like he was involved. Not probably with him actually harming the man, but it definitely his vehicle was used as some form of transport. It said, I have a $50 Android. Ricardo says, I have iPhone. Right. What says, allegedly, this still has to go to trial. If I was betting kind of gal, I am. I bet they're going to have a new forever home. That's a strong statement, Vut. Strong statement. Strong statement. You need to close the keyboard. Oh, okay. You're talking about the jewels and stuff. Okay. Let's go on. Let's see what else they have to say, since apparently now they found the money.
In the trust fund paperwork that says, when our daughter, Shanna, shall have no further legal entanglements with her ex-husband, Jared G. Bridegan, she may elect to serve as the trustee. In other words, Shanna would have full access to her trust money once Jared was out of the picture. This was a crystal clear financial incentive for Shanna to have Jared killed. The detectives now wondered if Henry, Mario, and Shanna conspired to murder Jared together. They scoured through Shanna's phone records for any more clues, and they found damning texts between her and her close friend named Kim Jensen. In a conversation from 2015, Shanna said that she would be happy to see Jared get lethally injected. In another exchange from the same month, Kim said, I could see you and Stupid taking a road trip next year. Shanna responded with, maybe a road trip that he disappears from. Lol. Shanna then said that she wished Jared would lay a hand on her so that someone named Matt would make him disappear. Kim replied saying, we'll be dancing in the streets when he's gone. Interestingly, she said when he's gone, as if she knew he would be disappearing soon enough. Shanna then said, oh, I am hoping so badly for a casserole party. This was an inside joke they frequently made, implying they would make a popular Utah casserole dish known as funeral potatoes when Jared died. While these messages could be interpreted as innocent dark humor, there were many more messages that were harder to justify. In another exchange from 2016, Shanna asked
How is that innocent dark humor? That's not innocent dark humor when you're having full on text conversations talking about you want someone to die by lethal ejection, you want someone to you want him to hit you so you can send somebody named Matt to take care of him and handle him, and you're going to create a new recipe called funeral potatoes, which is pretty much a casserole. That seems more than just dark humor. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't joke about things like that. And I don't know anybody that I hang around joke about things like that. You know, it's one thing to say you don't like no person, whatever not, but you don't necessarily be joking around talking about I'm going to unalive a person, or you want someone to croak and stuff like that. That's just weird. That's really weird. And to have that type of text message happening is so they said they have more damaging text messages. So I can't wait to see it. So let's hear what they have to say about it. I seen you, Brucey. I'm about to send you to the call now. He said, right, MJ, diabolical women. You're right, Brucey. You're right. There are some diabolical women. We have to agree about that.
Kim, if it was too late for a hitman to take Jared out, following up with, I'm serious. I want him gone. Kim responded with, I know Sue's husband knows people, lol. Kim's phone records were eventually obtained as well, and they revealed that right after this exchange, she contacted her friend Sue looking for a guy who does a permanent disappearing act. These incriminating text messages came to a halt right around the time Shanna started dating Mario. All of the pieces were finally falling into place. It seemed that Shanna was the orchestrator, Mario was the middleman, and Henry was the shooter. On January 25th, 2023, Henry was the first to be arrested.
For almost a year, we have investigated this case, seeking the many questions surrounding Jared's murder, and most importantly, to answer the question, who killed Jared? Just under an hour ago, this man, Henry Tenon, was arrested for the following crimes.
LOL.
Conspiracy to commit murder, second-degree murder with a weapon, accessory after the fact to a capital felony,
he said that
and
she
child
knew people,
abuse.
so
Although
she was
he initially
help.
pled not guilty, about 2 months later, on March 16th, 2023, Henry signed a plea deal. In exchange for pleading guilty to second-degree murder and testifying against any co-defendants in the case, his 3 other charges would be dropped, and he would receive a lesser sentence. He gave a sworn testimony saying that Mario agreed to give him $150,000 to be the triggerman in the murder. Apparently, the $5,000 check to kickstart Henry's pallet company was the first of several payments tied to the murder. Following this confession, the authorities wasted no time. Just hours later, Mario was tracked down and arrested in a gas station parking lot in Orange County. He was extremely calm and didn't seem fazed by his sudden arrest at all. He was placed in the back of a police cruiser and eventually extradited back to Duval County to face his charges.
In addition to the first-degree murder charge, the grand jury also has indicted Fernandez Saldana for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, solicitation to commit a capital felony, as well as child abuse. First-degree murder, this is a capital felony punishable by death or mandatory life in prison.
As for Shanna, she had quietly uprooted her life and relocated to Washington State with the twins. She believed she had outrun the law, but her day of reckoning had finally arrived in August of 2023. Throughout her entire interaction with the police, she had a pouty face and puppy dog eyes. She was extradited back to Duval County as well, where she faced the same charges as Mario.
We promised at the outset of this investigation we would not relent until we uncovered the truth of Jared's murder. This morning, a Fourth Circuit grand jury indicted Shanna Gardner for first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and child abuse. We will be filing a notice of our intent to seek the death penalty, as we have also done in the case of Mario Fernandez.
Both Shanna and Mario pled not guilty and were denied bond due to the severity of their charges. Thanks to Shanna's wealthy parents, she was able to hire Jose Baez, a high-profile defense attorney mainly known for successfully securing an acquittal for his notorious client, Casey Anthony. Over the next year and a half, the prosecution and the defense for both Mario and Shanna navigated through motion hearings, determining what could and couldn't be used in the trial. In one of those hearings, Detective Chris Johns took the court through all of the incriminating text between Shanna and Kim. He also revealed that Kim had been interviewed several times by both him and State Attorney Christina Stifler. When they confronted her about the texts in these interviews, she quickly opened up and described even more incriminating statements from Shanna.
There were multiple conversations over a multi-year period about Mario killing or finding people who could kill Jared. Okay. There were times where he would watch his movements or, like I said, follow him and try to, develop patterns of what he did and where he went and what would be the best way to carry out.
Yeah, that Casey Anthony. Yeah.
She relayed that there were instances where he was so close that he could touch him and Jared didn't know it.
Just to be clear, Ms. Jensen said that Shanna disclosed to her things that Shanna Gardner and Mario Fernandez spoke about.
Correct.
Did you use any phrasing to describe these moments where he could have done something to Jared Bardigan?
Missed opportunities.
The defense, however, wanted any discussion of Kim's interviews to be disallowed because they were never even recorded, so there was no way to verify that she had said any of those things. According to Kim herself, she never said anything about Mario wanting to kill Jared. The state was twisting her words.
I told them that Mario had a very large personality. He was famous for shock value statements, and that he had this one particular line that he would say repeatedly, which is, "Do you want me to take care of it? Do you want me to take care of it?" I believe it was Miss Stifler who said, "You mean kill him?" But those were her words. Those were not my words. I never said kill him.
She also said that Detective Johns was knowingly using intimidation tactics to make her say things she wouldn't usually say.
He came in the room, told me how important this was, that they knew things that I didn't know they knew, that I was in a lot of trouble, that I had to tell the truth.
Let me stop you there. Did you say he said you were in a lot of trouble?
Yes, that I could be in a lot of trouble from this. Gave me some statute about if you lie to a grand jury, you could go to jail for 30 years. He told me that he knew it was uncomfortable and that it was very intimidating, but that was his job because when you're uncomfortable, you say things that you wouldn't normally say, I think is how he put it.
The defense wanted all of Shanna's text with Kim to be disallowed as well, because according to Kim, the hitman comments were clearly a joke.
The hitman joke was a joke between Susan and I years before I even knew Shanna.
What was their response after you explained this joke?
So you're telling me that the next time I see you, it's going to be with your attorney and you're going to explain to a jury that this is a joke.
The judge ultimately denied the defense's motions, so for now, everything was allowed as evidence.
Good on this judge. Good on Judge London Kite. Good on her. I wouldn't not dismiss it either. I wouldn't take what the defense attorney said, because even what she said, you said that what he said, what the detectives were telling you was intimidating. He wasn't intimidating you. What he said wasn't intimidating. It's true. If you are found to be lying, you will serve time, right? That's a true statement. What was said in those text messages are incriminating. You were literally talking about a hitman. You was talking about, someone who can help. You was laughing. You was agreeing, talking about, hey, we're going to make funeral potatoes, a casserole for Jared. Those things, that's not funny. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. I don't know anyone, even my worst enemies. I don't sit up there and be like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Maybe if I can get this person locked up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do stuff like that. So no, it wasn't a joke. You was well aware. You was well aware of the situation. You was well aware about how the wife felt about him and how she wanted to get rid of him, how she wanted to make sure that she can get back on the trustee of her, of her trust, right? Because of the stipulations that her parents put down, that as long as you are still married to Jared or you're still going through this divorce thing, we're not gonna fund your trust, or you're not gonna have access to it anymore, because we don't want our money going directly into Jared's hands. So you went and got married to Mario, and you had the biggest motive of all why you needed to get rid of Mario. Now, if the Henry was the trigger guy, the motive was the money. Y'all said y'all would give him $150,000 if he would do this for you. And y'all started paying him in increments, and it seemed like a good deal, right? And then Mario, he had a lot to gain for this because he was funneling money right into his business, his own business, by even being married to her. So I don't know what this lady's talking about her being intimidated. Him telling you the truth is not intimidation. You know what I'm saying? Him saying, listen, if you don't give me or tell a lie to give me what I need to seal the case, you're going to be in big trouble. That is intimidation, right? But what he's telling you is just to tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you knew what something was going on, if you knew that there was a conversation that was had that you was privy to, that you didn't help stop it. You know what's funny? Even in her text messages, this supposed joke, not once was she actually a real friend and say, you know what? I know you don't like to do. I know he wasn't a good husband or whatever not, but you shouldn't talk like that about the father of your children. They love him. You got to find a way to make it work. Whether if you have to go to some family mediation or something like that, is important that both parents are involved in showing that these kids, they are loved outside of the relationship, not being together. Wasn't even a real friend. You was sitting up there stroking her fucking ego in a text, but then you want me to believe that it was all a joke. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you, Dad. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Oh, good. You're back. Good. I'm glad you're back, Bama, so I can give you your wrench. Stay there. Don't move. Let's see. It's all fun and games until you're busted and held accountable. Now, that is right. Absolutely, vote. Absolutely. Talking about that's a joke. That's not no joke. You sounded like you knew more about this whole situation. Those text messages didn't sound like you were just throwing out a random joke. It seemed like this is something that y'all discussed more than once. That's not a joke. But let's go on.
On January 13th, 2025, the judge scheduled a court hearing to check in with Henry because it had been a while since his last court hearing. It seemed that Henry was fed up for some reason, and he wanted to get something off of his chest. According to the transcript, Henry said, "Your Honor, may I say something?"
I'm sorry, but what the fuck was that? Was that the same guy? He looked completely different. He scared the shit out of me. Was that the same person? Like, oh my God, I was taken back for a moment. Like, who the fuck was that? Was that the same guy? That scared me. Was y'all not scared? I was like, whoa, what the? I'm sorry. I'm sorry about my jump reaction, but he really did scare me for a minute. I was like, what the hell? Who the hell was that? Who the hell was that? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. My bad, everyone. My bad. But that scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, holy shit. I know, but I know. Yes, please hit the like buttons for me. I truly appreciate it. My bad, everyone. My bad, but that scared me. Look, it scared me. I was scared for a moment. I was scared. Let's go on.
The judge tried to tell Henry to talk to his attorney before saying anything, but they ended up speaking over each other. Henry continued saying, "I just want to bring to your attention that my testimony, false testimony." Both the judge and his attorney essentially tell him to stop talking, but instead Henry says, "I need another attorney." The judge told him he should have a conversation with his attorney first before asking for a new one. Henry agreed and left the courtroom. The defense jumped on this and filed a motion to dismiss the case since Henry's testimony was a crucial factor in Mario and Shanna being arrested in the first place. Then, at a court hearing addressing the outburst, his attorney provided his own theory on why Henry might have suddenly backtracked on his testimony.
I told the state that I thought I suspected that there may be an inmate in the jail who was influencing Mr. Tennant, and that it could have been that a co-defendant had gotten to him. That's my suggestion.
Do you have information that's true?
No.
The judge decided to wait for Henry's next court hearing on April 15th, 2025, to give him the opportunity to explain himself. But when that time came, he hardly gave an explanation at all.
Is there any need to go any further about his representation? Are you satisfied with him?
No, it was just that we had a misunderstanding before. And so we kind of overcame that.
You have?
Yes.
And with that, Henry's strange outburst was swept under the rug.
I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. He looked like such a frail older man prior to getting locked up. And now he looked like Debo. He still looked old, but he looked like Debo. Like, he looked completely different. Like, I didn't even think he was that tall. He looked shorter before. Like, wow, what a transformation. Scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry, it really did. So now he changed his tune. Now he's changing his story. I think maybe the reason why he's changing his story now is because he realized that the other two, Mario and the wife, they might get out of this. And he already just took a plea deal to do 15 years for this situation. So now he feels like he's getting the short end of the stick because they might actually walk away, even though they were the mastermind. They put everything in place and all that stuff like that. They gave him the time and a place to go and all the stuff like that. And they gave him money, but he's the fallout guy. He pleaded first, took the deal, 15 years, but a lot of things is not holding or sticking when it comes down to the new husband and the wife. They might get out of it. And I think he's getting some he's getting some messages in jail about, like, listen, bro, this thing is about to continue to go to trial. It's going to be prolonged. They're going to be able to stay out of jail and wait until it's time to go back to trial, and your ass is sitting in jail the whole entire time. So now he's kind of feeling a kind of way, and now he wants to change the statement. Well, let's go on.
However, it seems like Henry isn't able to make up his mind because on July 7th, 2025, the judge allowed him to get a new attorney, leaving the public to wonder if he is being influenced to change his story. As of today, Shanna and Mario are scheduled to have a joint trial starting August 3rd, 2026. All three alleged conspirators of Jared Bridegan's murder are currently being held at the John E. Goody pretrial detention facility in Jacksonville, Florida. In the meantime, Jared's family and friends continue to struggle with their loss. It's clear that Jared's death has had a long-lasting impact on them, especially Bexley, who witnessed her father die.
Be safe, so I will protect Mama. Nobody can hurt you. I love you. Make sure the bad guys don't hurt you.
However, they're doing everything in their power to keep Jared's memory alive and are hopeful that in the end, justice will be served.
Well, we definitely have something to look forward to. I'm going to keep up with that trial. I hope that justice is definitely served. If they took that man's life and they took him away from his children because you wanted to get money, then you deserve to be under the jail cell. I don't feel bad for any one of them. I don't feel bad for Henry. If you a dumb fuck, you need dumb fucking consequences. Mario, you a trick, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even have words for the wife. You're disgusting beyond disgusting to me because you took a man away from his children. His children loved him. The fact that one of your child is literally having nightmares and now they're having problems because of what happened to their father and potentially that their mother is involved in it, you are a horrible, wicked woman to put your children in that situation. Horrible. You're not a good mother. You're disgusting. Prayers to that man, y'all. Prayers to that man, because it's sad. It's sad when, you're so influential, and, like I said, this doesn't excuse, because I don't know him. He could have been a horrible boyfriend, horrible husband, who knows, right? But his kids loved him, and he had the right to be here and enjoy life with his friends and his children too, right? And his family. You don't have the right to make that decision for someone. And it's something as petty as fucking money. There's a reason why you're such a grown ass woman and there's a trust fund and you don't have access to the money, and there was stipulations put in there because your family don't trust you because you make poor fucking decisions. That's why they couldn't give you the trust just right out. Like, let's be clear. There's a reason why your parents didn't want to give you money unless certain ABC happened, because you would blow it all away and you make irrational decisions and you will blow all their money away. That's why. So it says a lot about you too. It says a lot about you, about her. And then to now be a part of this, I'm going to definitely stay on with this case. I want to definitely see what happens with this case. They said it's coming out in 2026. So I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how all this plays out. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming back. Like I said, I know I was gone for a month. I have a lot of family issues that's happening. It's a little bit more stable now, but I'm still dealing with it. Just send out a little prayer to me and my family, and make sure that everything goes well. And I will be back tomorrow because I am off tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be my holiday. Shout out to my other fellow veterans here. Let's have a good day, good eats. All right. Appreciate all of you, everyone who have served. I appreciate everyone who have came today. I hope I see you tomorrow. And if not, please enjoy the holiday. Be safe. Take care of your loved ones. Just stay safe, everyone. It's crazy out here in these streets. Please, 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 please. I love you all. I truly do. I love you all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all make this channel worthwhile. I truly appreciate all your commentary and everything, and just participate. And I really do. I really, really, really do. And on that note, I will see you tomorrow. Talk to you later, everyone. Take care. Good night.